in Berkeley, California. You got it. This one's for three. AJ Hawk, $5,000. USA, USA, USA.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey. Why? Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You ping!
Stop! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this magical Super Wildcard Tuesday, January 6, 2026, this program begins now.
Football!
He's the greatest, and what we're about to have here, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, into Monday, is something that we football people like to call greatness. Thursday, college football playoff game in Phoenix, Arizona. I'll tell you what, Ole Miss hosting Miami. Ole Miss being a team that was left for dead.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, a franchise that we thought were going to be completely donezo after this year. Better make the most of it. This is over. Your coach is leaving. Your coaches are leaving. Your players are leaving. Everybody's gone. Well, turns out the running back that has 4,000 touchdowns, who still has 3 years of eligibility left, he's returning back to Ole Miss. Quarterback from Ferris State, national champion. Beautiful school up there in Michigan. They go back-to-back, by the way. Congratulations to them. We'll talk about that. Trinidad goes to Winnidad whenever he's down there in Oxford. He said if he's granted another year of eligibility because of what was happening for one of his years at Ferris State, where he could potentially be deemed a medical red shirt, so maybe he gets an extra year of eligibility. If I was to have another year, I'm not going down by you. I'm staying right here at Ole Miss.
Whoa. Wow.
2 coaches from the coaching staff that'll be leaving, Charlie Weiss Jr. and Kevin
Smith,
who is the running back coach, will continue to coach the Ole Miss team. The other 4 that were kind of working both jobs, LSU and Ole Miss, will not be returning to Ole Miss for the rest of the run. It's an interesting dynamic what's taking place in Ole Miss. And that head coach, Golding, he might be the one. This guy might be the one. Now, he's got a sick visor with great hair, seems to have a great disposition, looks like he enjoys having a good time. The way he describes guys is whether or not you'd like to have a beer with him. That is the type of language we like to use whenever we're discussing football players, whenever we're discussing leaders. And this guy's been able to rally the entire squad. Congrats to him. And then Miami. We've been boots on the ground for Miami now 2 times. Down to College Station when they were taking on Texas A&M, 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts kind of changed the whole entire game. So whoever could survive that game, we thought was going to be a very mentally tough team. But what was very apparent is this Miami team's thumping people. And then they got a chance to take it all out on the Ohio State Buckeyes. A lot of people were chit-chatting. That's Keontae Scott. He's a beast. Didn't win the Jim Thorpe Award, but does hit the Jim Thorpe clean statue pose immediately after a pick 6 in the college football quarterfinals. But what they did was out-physical the Ohio State Buckeyes. And that's the identity, not only of how I think people would want the Miami Hurricanes to act from down in Miami, but the head coach is like a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Mario Cristobal's got no time for your games. Offensive lineman, loves Miami, from the area, speaks Spanish to the folks in the area, recruits full-time, wants to bring the U all the way back, and guess what? They are. Their style of play is electrifying. The way they go about doing their business is awesome. They'll talk their shit and do their shit. And Carson Beck, their quarterback, if he's going to have time like he did against Ohio State, he's certainly able to make the right decisions. And they got a guy who's Derrick Henry in the making and running back in Mark Fletcher. He can run over whoever, whenever, however. This game, Miami Ole Miss, is going to be an absolutely epic battle over there in Phoenix. And then Atlanta on Friday, Big Ten battle to see who's going to be representing the Big Ten in the national championship. A repeat, obviously. This game happened early in this college football season. The Indiana Hoosiers went all the way to Eugene and proved to the world that they're a real team this year. And the Oregon Ducks, what have they done since then? Just fight back, get better. Dan Lanning, absolute psycho for football. Kurt Signetti, absolute psycho for football. Both teams built the same way. We're big, we're strong. We use the transfer portal. We certainly pay our guys. We got studs across the board, and we're ready to roll. This game on Friday night, after a Thursday night college football playoff semifinal, then this game on Friday for a college football semifinal, and then we go to bed and we think to ourselves, wow, football is awesome. There can't be much more, can it? Yeah, Super Wildcard Weekend starts. 2 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, and then a Monday night football little appetizer that's going to be in the home of, oh, mama, I'm in fever, my life from the long arm of the law. Houston Texans traveling to Pittsburgh on Monday. That's after everything we already have. Welcome to football heaven. We're lucky to be here.
Hell yeah!
The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Ty, this is a special time for ball.
Yeah, I mean, it's the absolute best. You know, not only are we going to be boots on the ground, which is kind of just a cherry on top, but, you know, everyone always talks about divisional weekend being the best because a lot of times you have, you know, the best teams remaining. I think you're hard-pressed. You look at really the calendar for the entire year. This is the best week of the year, okay? We get college football semifinal, all into all these best games. Like there is no, if you're a football fan, really if you're a sports fan, this is the best week of the year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now, March Madness, obviously great for the offseason. Sure. Okay, March Madness is fantastic. That is a good time. I would even add in, because we got to experience it, NBA All-Star break, great. All-Star week, great, because behind the scenes, not really on camera. MLB All-Star week, awesome.
That was pretty sweet.
Super Bowl week is awesome. But this right now is a ball lover and ball watcher, this is the one. I mean,
that's what we wait for.
And then let alone what's happening on Thursday and Friday to decide the D1 champs.
Sure.
We've already had the D3, D2, and D2A champs already decided. Tone, this has been a big week for ball in total. Now, you're a Duquesne Duke, obviously.
Yes, I am.
Shout out to the Dukes there. But how about the D3 champs, Wisconsin River Falls?
Wow.
They beat North Central, who we obviously know very well. North Central over the last 6 years has won 96% of their games. Wisconsin River Falls here, at one point they were 0-10. At one point not too long ago, they've never won a national championship before. before. The other night, they conquer the conquerors, North Central, who was looking to be back-to-back national champions, and now looking out for maybe a dynasty down there in Wisconsin River Falls. There is a player that I know very well, and so do you, that started his entire career over there at River Falls, Owen Schmidt.
Wow.
The beer truck.
What?
Yeah, he went over there, demolished some people, demolished some kids, came over to Morgantown, worked as a bouncer at a bar, earned a scholarship, became the West Virginia Mountaineer legend and icon, and then obviously goes on to play in the NFL. He also does music. He owned a saloon at one point. I mean, an absolutely dynamic human. Started his entire thing over there at River Falls. He was at this national championship because I put a tweet out about good luck to D-Bone's boys, his North Central squad, and I got a tweet back from Owen. It's like, hey, I'm actually here. Where's your... Let's have a little respect here.
Hell?
Congratulations to Owen Schmidt and Wisconsin River Falls for winning their first national championship. Michigan's own Ferris State goes back-to-back in the D2B level. Congratulations to Ferris State getting the job done. Who's their next Trinidad? Maybe that quarterback's getting plucked to go to some school that makes it to the college football playoff semifinal like we had seen last year. And then the D2A team that won it all, Montana State. Congratulations to the Bobcats.
Baby.
Sorry, FCS team. I do apologize. It is D1. Hard for me not to call it D2, but it is D1, AA, FCS. Then there's a 2, then a 3, and an NAIA, and then a JUCO. Okay, yeah. I'm trying to keep it all right. We love ball. This game, insane. That was an overtime touchdown that was thrown to Taco Dalla right there. It was obviously down 6. The extra point for Illinois State, Roll Bird's incredible year, gets blocked. So now Montana State's kicker, named Miles Sandstead. All he has to do is hit an extra point in front of a bunch of shirtless dudes in the freezing cold. He does that. Montana State wins the national championship. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Bobcats out there. That's what it's all about. They win national championships in rodeo. They win national championships in football. They win national championships in all those things. I didn't see Duquesne on there, Tone. Is that ever going to happen to represent Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania?
The Dukes made the FCS playoffs last year. They went out valiantly on their swords. This season, they did not. They were not ranked high enough to make it, but they will. They will make it. We will get an FCS championship out of them. If you looked, all the champions are from northern states. So that's where ball lives. That's where ball thrives these days. So I'd be shocked if a team out of Pittsburgh didn't win soon.
A lot of people talking about the SEC. Are you guys okay? Is everything going to be okay? Stephen A. Smith actually made a good point this morning. He said it's about to be 3 different Big Ten teams that are potentially about to go now. Okay, now, granted, Miami, certainly. Ole Miss, certainly. Ole Miss representing the SEC very valiantly. I think that needs that's a big story that needs to be told. This Golden guy has to hold his building together, but he's also representing the entire Southeastern Conference at this point. And in Miami, ACC was an afterthought. I mean, the ACC, I can't believe we're letting any team in there. Duke, yeah, right. That's why we had JMU and Tulane in the 12-team playoff, is because how ass the ACC champion was. So Jim Phillips was sitting over there, the commissioner of the ACC, staring down potentially no ACC teams in a college football playoff. And then there was a big conversation about, well, this Miami team, I know they lost early, but this Miami team got all the pieces. They're big enough. They're fast enough. They have dominating wins. Carson Beck's been there, done that. And a college football playoff committee put them in there to represent the ACC, even though they weren't champions, as an at-large kind of team in there. And they've certainly held up their end of the bargain. Shout out to Miami, 9-year NFL vet, Broward County Hall of Famer, Darius J. Butler. Miami and Ole Miss, obviously, Final Four. So they're good teams. Great stories, too, for all of college ball.
Absolutely. Ole Miss, I think, probably has the best story right now because of what's going on with the coaching staff and the coach leaving and the players. And now you got 5 stars transferring from LSU to Ole Miss. So I think storybook-wise, probably got the best story. Miami, if you looked at, I'm glad the committee actually knows ball, and they let them in, and they were the one lone ACC teams. But I feel like Miami kind of has their own brand, even separate from the ACC in their glory days. You know, you talk about the Hall of Famers and the legacy there. And then on the Big Ten side, that Big Ten kind of dominance just keeps going on. Indiana clearly, I think right now, the best team, best coach team in the country. Then Oregon, you know, on any given Sunday, they can do their thing. So I think we got a great Final Four, but you know who I'm rolling with.
Well, and Miami's supporting the entire thing, too, where it's like, hey, conference champions can't get in. You know, like we almost left, or not we, the committee almost left Miami completely off of the table. It was almost under Dame.
JMU was in.
JMU was in.
Tulane was in.
Tulane was in. Like that, Miami is the example of exactly why you have to change the entire bidding, situation with the CFP.
Yeah, I love this Miami team. I watch this Miami team, boots on the ground. We'll be able to do it again. Obviously, we'll be doing the field pass from both of these games on ESPN2. You say Ole Miss is the best story in college football. I think right now, if you were to zoom in the best, craziest story is certainly that. But if you were to zoom out in a big way, what's happening here in Indiana is crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
First ever Heisman winner, first ever number one overall pick, first ever. And now they have a chance. They're knocking on the door of a national championship appearance. What Cignetti has done to this entire state, obviously this university, but also college ball as a whole, is give a lot of people hope that if they have the right boosters, they have the right people behind them, and they have alignment from the president. President Pam Whitten is a ball lover. She is, we are going to try to win ball, yes. And then you have a head coach and an AD. They're also on board. And you get the right people. You can flip something from nothing, literally, to maybe a national champion in 2 years. That's kind of the upside of this modern day football that we have for college ball that doesn't get talked about. A lot of things get lost in the sauce. Transfer portal is a bad time. It is. Contracts are out of control. They are. Coaches having to leave at certain times. It is insane. Bad. There's a lot of bad. Good. Indiana can now thrive as a football team because it can provide the amount of money to be able to get some recruits that they need when every other recruit in the history of football would have went to another school that they could have potentially got to the NFL for. Now you got Fernando Mendoza going to Indiana potentially over other schools and big names in the past because maybe they were able to offer a little bit of a sweeter deal. Maybe because the business is a little bit nicer down there in Bloomington, they were able to bring in Pat Coogan, the center from Notre Dame. Maybe because the boosters want their football team to be good, it's a good thing for ball as a whole, not just a bad thing that always gets brought up, Tone Diggs.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. And this year in the transfer portal, IU is doing it again. Them and Texas Tech are dominating. And I like how you said it, and Deba too. Like when you look at it just in a vacuum right there, yeah, Ole Miss and what's happened with Lane and everything like that. But when you zoom out, IU before Sig got there, 1-8, 2-7, 0-9. There was a 5-4 in there, 2-7, 2-7, 2-6, 1-7, 2-6, 0-8, 1-7, 1-7, 1-7. Like insanity. And Sig comes in there, back-to-back years, goes to the playoffs. They have a chance to be the second team ever, I believe, to go 16-0 in college football. The last time was Harvard in like the 70s. This is, and I'm trying not to be like just in the moment. This might be the great one of, if not the greatest sports story of all time, what Sig's done at IU and their run this year.
And people are saying like Ted Lasso type shit here for Cignetti. You are talking maybe one of the greatest coaches in the history of sports when it's all said and done for this Paisan that's living down there.
Yeah, well, in all sports, like you mentioned, and just professional or amateur. Like you can lump him in with guys in the NFL, with other sports like that. But the coolest part with the transfer portal that, maybe with all the negativity around it, which of course there is, but the cool part is it separates the great coaches from the good ones. The good coaches from the not so good ones. Like you could argue that Texas Tech is primed for Joey McGuire to be in the consideration of one of the great coaches in college football, because if they can continue to do it, Cignetti in 3 years has gone from JMU to, hey, this guy's the best coach in college football. That is nuts, and it's all because of the transfer portal.
It's not just like his talent evaluation as part of coaching, getting the most out of people. I mean, I don't want to continue to point at one particular place, but it is going to be kind of the example that people use whenever they say, yeah, money doesn't mean you. Florida State. Okay, look where Florida State was. They should be in the national championship conversation, should be in the tournament. Their fans felt that way. A lot of injuries at very key positions. Obviously, it ended up working out how it ended up working out. Florida State people still hold grudges against people for that particular moment. But then it's like, all right, you got a program built, you're there. Let's do it again. They spend money on the wrong particular fit in DJ Uiagalelei, and they go right into the shitter. Mm-hmm. So it's not just that you have money. Okay, certainly having money is a necessity in this modern football, but it's like, to your point about the coaches, being able to pick the right people and coach these people while they're getting paid millions, hundreds of thousands of dollars, managing egos. You're right. I think the coaching aspect of it is having a light shined on it brighter than ever. And we haven't even talked about the team in Eugene, Ty.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, they have a lot to kind of look forward to this year as well, because last year, Oregon was kind of the best team all year, and then they got flat out embarrassed in the Rose Bowl. And I think, they started to kind of do the facelift when Cristobal was there, but like coming into the Big Ten, I think a lot of people in the Big Ten thought Oregon's going to be, they have the money, they have Phil Knight, they have the nice uniforms and all the different combinations, but their style of play doesn't match any team in the Big Ten. And Dan Lanning has, from the get-go, said, hey, we need to get more physical on the offensive and defensive lines, and that's exactly what they've done. And then on top of it, you have the Dante Moore story now, where it's like, is he going to be, is he going to go back? If they end up winning the national championship, like he kind of cements, his draft status, and he probably goes pro, and he could end up being the first pick. So like, there's a lot of interesting things there. And then again, as a Big Ten guy, for two Big Ten teams to meet again in this, Peach Bowl, and for it to be a rematch of one of the best games of the year already, like you couldn't ask for a better matchup.
Well, and that's what's sweet about this, college football and the parity in it too, is like we might never see a Alabama type run, a Clemson type run where it's one or two schools, like the thing going around right now is it's the first semifinal without Ohio State, Clemson, or Alabama. Like we may never see a run like that again because of the transfer portal, which makes it so much better. Like we're either going to have Miami versus Oregon and Indiana, or Ole Miss versus Oregon and Indiana. Like the every single year, kind of similar to the NFL right now. Like you have no idea what's going to happen in the end with all these teams.
And now, granted, we had Ohio State and Alabama still in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
But ratings up and to the right. Mm-hmm. Way up and to the right. The New Year's Eve game was up like 30-some% or something like that. Now, does that mean people are getting more used to kind of the schedule? Because last year kind of got dropped in on them out of nowhere. I don't know how many people were really pounding the drum every single day that the college football playoffs are about to happen out of nowhere. Hey, yeah, it's been 3.5 weeks. There's a huge game tonight. I think people are kind of getting used to it.
Play the song more.
Yeah, they actually got rid of that.
They did.
The song is dead.
What?
Yeah, I'm trying to buy the rights to it. I'm trying to buy the rights to it.
Beethoven sued him.
Why don't we just make our own?
I think we already have one recorded. We sang it how many times? So we'll just rip that. Yeah, you're right. We should just do that. But on that note, it did feel as if there was a lack of people knowing last year that the college football playoffs are happening. This year, obviously second year, people are a little bit more comfortable, but the numbers way up and to the right for football as a whole, college football for sure. And I think what they're going to see from these two games is good football.
Yeah,
I think good football is about to be on display.
Absolutely. The comment just mentioned it, like for a decade and a half, just Bama, Georgia, Clemson every year. You kind of definitely get tired of that. So to have this Final Four and these stories, all four of these teams, I feel like have great stories. They got completely different stories, different style players, different coaches. I can't wait for these two games back to back, man. Then obviously whichever natty we get, that'll be great as well.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who has all the right ideas for everything on earth. Ladies and gentlemen, the quarterback guru for ESPN and football knower, Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah.
Just went to the dry cleaner, had to get my suits clean. You know how Greeny is. Greeny likes me buttoned up in there when I go in the morning.
Just got them done. Just changed them out, dropped them off, picked them up.
Love your people, family forever. Respect the hat. I like the fact that you wear clean suits as well. Let's talk about these college football playoffs quickly. Oregon, Indiana playing each other. People are saying that's number 1 and number 2 overall pick. Now, granted, on what Dante Moore decides to do, there is a chance, I guess, he goes back to Oregon, maybe plays some more football, maybe does that entire thing. Fernando Mendoza, in my eyes, just from watching the entire season, he's 6'5", 225 to 230, throws dots, takes hits, and can run. And then in between the years, he's outrageous. And I've been told he's never sunk the biz at Nick's down there in Bloomington. Wow. But he has certainly had beers with the boys. Like everything you hear about him is that he's an NFL guy. Now, granted, he's got a season he's trying to finish here. Feels like Fernando outright number 1 whenever it's all said and done. And then Dante Moore number 2. How do you feel about the display here of potential future NFL quarterbacks? And what are your thoughts on these guys' projections going forward?
Yeah, the more I've watched Fernando, the more he reminds me just play-wise of Trevor Lawrence. Big, physical, athletic guy. I would say if you don't confuse him, like if you don't change the picture on him, if he has a pretty good idea what coverage you're in post-snap, he'll shred you. And that was one of the things that surprised me in the Rose Bowl was like how much zero coverage or man just Alabama lined up and played. And it was just catch and throw for him. He's too smart of a player, but it's been pretty impressive to watch his growth and kind of thriving this year. It's too early for me when it comes to like the legit study of these guys to say no brainer number 1. He's obviously going to be in that conversation. And then I think for Dante, if you protect Dante Moore, he's Matt Ryan to me. Just so smooth. And I think that's the thing that happened last time they were out, Indiana out at Autzen, was just they made him uncomfortable. And he never allowed to play in rhythm. If you allow Dante to play in rhythm, he'll cut you up pretty good. And so that's the advantage that Indiana has. I'll be interested to see how Dante and that offense performs. Does it change his at least potential plans if he has them? I had heard yesterday from somebody that has some interest in it that they thought he was going, or felt confident that he was going to go. That's hearsay and what that group of people believe and whatnot. So we'll see. But I do think that both of them have really high-end potential to be first-round picks.
I mean, there's numbers floating around for quarterbacks right now in college, like $5 million, $5.5 million. Do you stay at the place you're at, $5 million, build up your resume, build up your confidence, build up reps, build up everything, and then go in the following year? I mean, that's on the person to decide. Obviously, that's for them to choose. Yeah. And congrats to them being in a position to be able to do that. Fernando, brother, you talked about his cover zero awareness. Penn State game winner, cover zero. Iowa winner, he had the game winner, cover zero. And he even told us the other day that he's in the middle of a play and he's like, oh, they bluffed me, they got me. And then he's making a decision later. It's like he gets it, You
got to mess with them, man. Like you got to mess with them. You got to do some things that are a little bit unorthodox. You have to consistently change the picture on them. You guys have heard me say this. I think there's two ways to really impact quarterbacks. You either speed them up or slow them down. And right now, you're not really doing either to Fernando. And I think the best thing that Oregon can do, knowing how good Indiana's offensive line is, it's like you've got to try and slow him down. You have to get him to second guess what he's looking at.
I'm telling you, this is a generational guy. Yeah. I think he's generational. That is how I am describing Fernando Mendoza. Not just because the way the ball comes out, the way he's built, 6'5", 230. I mean, that is exactly what you want. He can run. He just got the edge on Alabama, okay? That's an SEC team. He gets the edge, picks up the first down. But in between the ears, he is a Sunday guy. I mean, it is no questions asked. Plus, he's having beers with the boys. It's like everything you want, basically, in an NFL quarterback. From what we've learned about Fernando Mendoza, he is. And it's like, I don't know how many of these guys just pop up. I don't know how many of these things are just out there, honestly, roaming around in the streets in 2025.
Yeah, we've been to a lot of college football
2026, sorry, Jesus.
Like we've been to a lot of these games. None of them have looked like that, what Mendoza put on display for the Rose Bowl.
Even when we watched Will Howard against Ohio State.
Yes.
Okay?
What about Stroud? Because you guys talked glowingly about him after that.
Similar feeling about Stroud. Similar feeling, but just vastly different. Yeah. Like, Stroud was moving more in that game against Georgia, which I think made us very like, I didn't know he could run like that. With how big he is, we knew he could spin it. Fernando is like dissecting the defense. We talk about all these quarterbacks having their second chapter whenever they're later in their careers. Why are all these guys doing so well? Well, it's because they can break down what a defense is, and all these younger guys, because the way they've been doing offenses their entire careers, they don't really have to break it down. So these guys with experiences that have been there and done that and know what's happening, they can make the best selection for each play. It's like, feels like Fernando's already at that. Feels like he is already at the second chapter where he knows what you're doing. His answer to us the other day was outrageous. Every play is a puzzle, basically. He's a nerd. Like, we know he's a nerd. He's a football nerd. Every play is a puzzle. That's how I look at it. I just got to figure it out. And then, you got me on that one. Let me go to my check down piece that I got right over here. It's like he talks like a 10-year vet whenever he's talking about defenses, so much so people think he's a robot whenever he's talking about it.
And to all of this, and Saban talked about a little bit going into the game. Bama going into the game was primarily a zone team. But Fernando has been so good against zone all season long off of the RPOs. That was the storyline coming in here. They were like, Bama's going to have to run a lot of man. So then he answers the questions against man against Bama. So now he's great against zone. He answered all the questions on the test against man against Bama. So Oregon, it is in a bit of a pickle here about what to do against Fernando coming into this game.
6'5", 230. That is just a whole nother element, and he can move. I don't like those saggy pants he's wearing, but he can certainly move. And what's that?
Got to blame Adidas.
Yeah, he won't be wearing those at the next level. But I think he also, you talk about like his maturity and between the ears. I think if you're going to get drafted by a team like the Raiders or the Jets, who has been habitually terrible for the last however many years, like you need to possess a special kind of maturity as that quarterback coming in, because a lot of those guys, quarterbacks we've seen them draft, like they just let the situation eat them up, and I think he's shown that like he's not that type of guy.
Beers with the boys is a big deal for me too. That's a whole being a nerd and also beers with the boys. That is just a part of the job of being. I'm not saying you have to drink, but we need to hang out with the boys.
Yeah, them all going to New York for the.
Yeah, like being a leader and being a part of the group is a huge part of being an NFL quarterback. It's like everything this guy does seems to be great. Orlovsky, your last thoughts on it all?
Yeah, I think the thing that stands out is nowadays to be top pick and really good in the league, you have to be a three-tool player. You got to beat dudes with your arm, your mind, and your legs. You have to have that capability. We see it with all the good quarterbacks. every great quarterback that we've really known and is in the NFL right now, they're great problem solvers. And when you bring up him saying the defense every snap is a puzzle, I mean, that's you have to be a great problem solver, and you have to have the tools to solve the problems. And those tools are different for a lot of different guys. You know, they're just different tools. And right now, it looks to be that he has all those tools. And the thing with Stroud is interesting because I think this is for the public. I don't really believe it's going to play a part for the NFL evaluators. But CJ was at Ohio State and a big-time recruit. So it was like, oh, you're the Ohio State quarterback and you are a star recruit. I still think that there's going to be people in the public thinking, wait, this is the kid that went to Cal and then he transferred to Indiana and he's going to be the first pick. And it's like, if you just took the human, moved them to their traditional powers of college football, there probably would be a less negative reception on that thought with Mendoza than it would have been.
I agree. First impressions are tough to kind of shake. Now let's talk about another Cal quarterback that wasn't number one overall that could have been. Go ahead, Aaron. Tone.
Yeah, Dano, obviously I saw you talking earlier and saying that Aaron's best game in his last 4 or 5 years, and now he's got the Houston Texans defense coming to Pittsburgh, which, if not number 2 defense in the entire NFL. I know, they're going to throw 1,000 passes to Gainwell and Warren, and they're going to get it out quick. They're not going to let that D-line disrupt the game. But overall, how do you feel about Aaron and the Steelers' offense's chances against that Houston defense? And I'll give it to you. We gave you a lot of shit before the season. You were right about a lot of things with the Steelers, and I just wanted to point that out to you.
You're a good man, Tone. I also I appreciate that. I was wrong on things as well, so don't.
Yeah. Clip that. Clip that. That was cool. We're just going to pull that. Go ahead. Just for
I don't know who just said, yeah, you were, but.
That was Nick Marotta.
Dude, I would say my answer for Pittsburgh versus Houston's defense is rinse and repeat with any offense. Houston's defense is ridiculous. We had to do we got to do the voting for the NFL awards and first and second team all pros. I struggled to not put 6 or 7 guys on their defense on the first 2 teams. That's that good. And so one of the things that Pittsburgh has thrived on offensively this year is yards after the catch because they get the ball out so quickly. Aaron knows exactly what you're in. He's going to get the ball out to playmakers in space and yards after the catch. It's one of the best defenses in football in everything, but certainly defending yards after the catch. It's one of the best tackling defenses in football. And so that's the big challenge is the thing that Pittsburgh loves to do, and it's really kind of kept them afloat this year offensively, is the thing that Houston dominates with. They just thrive in it. And so this is not going to be an overly complicated thing for Aaron. He's going to know, obviously it's Aaron. He knows who most people are in defensively, but he will know exactly what Houston's in. They're not schematically incredibly creative, especially on first and second down. They're going to play 4-man front. They're going to play in quarters. The thing is, it happens so fast, and they got people who can cover. Both Stingley and Lassiter can check DK. I'm sure it's going to be a great battle, but DK's not going to dominate that battle. Petrie's as good as a nickel as there is in football. I think the one thing that if you watch teams have some success against Houston defensively this year, you have to take shots down the field. You're not going to hit a ton. You have to. And it's just not something that Pittsburgh does. So I think it's a pretty significant challenge.
Calvin Austin will hit the little stutter go.
Yeah.
DK down the sideline. And we would like to let Yinzers know, and we've been told that a lot of people in Pittsburgh watch the show. We appreciate that. We love Yins down there. You need to know that your offense is going to be punting a lot. Okay, the Houston Texans bring the boo birds to stadiums that they go to because your offense is not going to look good. I witnessed it with my own eyes in Indianapolis, and I was like, oh, I didn't even think about this. People, whenever their offense is not doing well, their natural reaction is boo. Mm-hmm. That's what the Houston Texans do to your stadium. They bring the boo birds. It's not just the Texans coming to play your team. It's also the boo birds are coming in because they are going to make your offense look elementary. They've done that to everybody. Seattle Seahawks doing the same damn thing. They will make your offense look elementary. Your offense is just trying not to turn the ball over. Like, that is the move. They're sparring right there. Your offense is not trying to get exposed early in this game. So it's even an idea like, hey, let's not do anything crazy. They're probably going to get a couple 3-and-outs on us. They're probably going to get a sack. That's the way it's going to go. So what we're trying to tell Yinzers and Acrisure is let's not burn the place down in the first quarter whenever there's not a lot happening on offense. I know that's going to be hard to do in the moment on Monday Night Football, but it's like this Texans defense can get you very, very upset with your team. That is kind of how they've been, Dano.
Yeah, they've got the two as good edge rushers as anybody, but also in the run game. I mean, Will Anderson is a demon in the run game. Their linebackers are as quick downhill as anybody. So and they run through your face. They're a violent group of linebackers. I mentioned Petrie. Petrie is as good as any nickel in football. They're fast. They're long on the back end. Bullock is sensational. Lassiter is sensational. So it's just a very dominant defense when it comes to their individual talent. And you are
just that's what people start doing. We suck. It's
going to be hard.
How is this guy still the fucking coach? That's what they're going to be saying.
To be honest, though, they don't boo the offense a ton because they're so used to it sucking.
Okay, we'll see.
There you
Houston
go.
Texans come in there, and it is 4th and 13. It is. We have not gone anywhere near forward. Yeah, there has not been a positive play for a while. Like there has not been a single moment because they just smother your happiness. That is literally what the Texans defense does. In Pittsburgh's a place, especially Monday night, long day. Got out there and made a gold lot, had a little couple cocktail or two there, did their thing. Had some Dallas Alice pizza, by far the best pizza in Pittsburgh.
Well, work's canceled.
I don't know.
Work's canceled Monday, by the way. There's no work on Monday in Pittsburgh. It's canceled.
Is that real?
I just made it real.
Holy shit.
We need Father Maximilian Maxwell to potentially do that.
Let me tweet
I think he can kind of do whatever he wants to do. John 3:16 and Father Maximilian Maxwell really getting a win for the Steelers the other day. Beautiful thing. Maybe they're the team of destiny, honestly, as we go forward here. But as we do look at you traveling to Pittsburgh, because you're there for the game, people are going to be pumped to hear that. So also, you guys got a lot of heat. You guys got a lot of heat on the internet calling that last game. You, Lou, Fowler.
Yeah, there was a lot of people saying talk too much.
3 people in there, a lot of takes.
Yeah, it's just a reality. It's a reality. We're going to talk 33% more than other booths.
But what people are saying is you don't have to. You can have the acknowledgement that there is 3 people and kind of make that decision together. Not saying it should be you or Lou, but there should be maybe be a little bit better of a conversation going in on expectation. That's on you. I'm not a TV producer. I didn't go to broadcast boot camp. But on that note, whenever you're traveling out there, and when that rules analyst talks, if it's that same guy, say, you don't deserve to be in the NFL. Just say that to him. You should not be speaking for the NFL. Okay, thank you. This is a meritocracy. You get to the league. You don't get to just be here because you were here. And just because you're on my network that I work on doesn't mean I have to think you're good at your job, because you're not. You are terrible, and you're representing all the fucking ball whenever you speak. You could say that to him. You're allowed to do that. I'm giving... Tone just canceled work in Pittsburgh on Monday.
Exactly.
I would like to give you permission to be able to say that to that guy that we've never heard of before.
He's a good man.
He's a good man.
I'm sure he is. There's a lot of good people getting fired right now because they're ass at their jobs. So, he's good guy. I get it. We need Super Wildcard Weekend, brother. You're on Monday Night Football. Let's fucking... Oh, that gets me worked up. I don't like these rules. Gene Steratore, that's it. Gene Steratore needs to be doing it for everybody. I don't know why he's not. Ed Hockley, where the hell did you go? Ed Hockley just wanted to disappear from the limelight. Nobody thought that was going to happen. Why is it his ass?
I think he's competing in strongman competitions.
Okay, well, tell him to stop lifting for 14 seconds and break down a play. That's who we need. This guy I've never heard of popping up on the screen. Well, I think we don't need it, buddy. Okay, unless you're going to be great, we don't. Let's move along. You guys are going to be great on call in Pittsburgh.
Hell yeah.
No, we don't have the call. Troy has the call. I'll be there for NFL Live. Troy and Joe have the call.
Yeah, they ain't wheeling them out.
Oh, my. Oh, my God. What's your problem, Ty? What's his deal? But they are paying him. They are kind of paying him $30 million a year each.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Nothing against them. I'm saying they're not.
Yeah, Joe and Troy. Yeah, Joe and Troy. Oh, my God. My heart's
You guys are...
Your problem, Connor.
For me, it's just not that guy. It's not that rules analyst guy that's representing football on the biggest stage. He's not the one with Joe and Troy, right?
Oh, that's why you
Russell
made that reaction.
Which he's on the clock too.
Yeah, but he's kind of the GOAT compared to.
Yeah. That was like whenever they had the replacement refs, and they're like, "Is this what you want? Is this what you want? This is how bad it is. That's a touchdown. No, it's not a touchdown."
They used to have John Perry. I think John Perry then went to. I think John Perry works for the Bills now, I believe.
See, John Perry, boots on the field. I remember John Perry on the field. I remember actually getting into it with John Perry on the field because he robbed me. The only other way to describe it would be screwed me out of 15 yards on a punt out of bounds. So I certainly, what was that, buddy? Because they do this whole thing. And then he had good moxie, good flow. He'd been there. Gene been there.
JP's a good dude.
Yeah, I liked the Buffalo Bills are plucking. Okay.
Good move.
What the hell is he doing there?
But I think some of these officials do this where guys who are ex-officials are in that role. I believe I don't know if every organization has them, but they go and work for organizations and they evaluate like the upcoming opponent's tape when it comes to.
We can get a lot of PIs on this team. Oh.
Yeah, stuff like that. I think something like that where you're saying, hey, this backside defensive back or something like that, or this right tackle, pregame, these coaches have conversations with officials. Look out for this, look out for that. I think that's in some capacity that role.
That feels smart. That feels like a good idea.
Yeah.
If you're making as much money as these NFL teams are making and refs matter as much as they do, having somebody to be able to potentially play the game a little bit on your side is a good play. We just hate that.
I also think like some self-evaluation, Pat. Sorry, like, hey, just so you know, maybe you're getting away with this shift or this motion or your guys doing this. Check yourselves, stuff like that to try to get it ahead of really either side.
Interesting because Deion Dawkins does the inside hand chop that some refs call holding. Yeah. I would assume that now JP, who's working for them, talks to the officials and says, hey, this is the move that he does. It is not holding, like more of a clarity on the entire. That feels like the Colts got one of these? Let's not get this guy.
They probably do.
The Bills keep changing rules, huh? Got the inside track, huh?
Oh, you're saying maybe we should keep our eyes on what's going on
keep
up
our
there
eyes
in Buffalo.
Still can't get a banner.
Gumpy is a Dolphins fan. He should not be speaking.
2. We got 2. Give me 2.
Okay.
1972, only undefeated team.
Hey,
that's
Josh
right.
Allen.
That's right. Pop the bottles.
Still running it.
Pop the bottles. Indiana Hoosiers might get you.
It's prime for Josh this year.
Indiana Hoosiers might get you.
It is prime for Josh.
Hey, in Pittsburgh, though, you need to go. Great Italian culture in Pittsburgh. That means there's a lot of pizza. There's a lot of great food, beautiful culture everywhere. And whenever you said you did not know Pittsburgh had pizza like this, we're there Monday for live. If want to have on-set taste test, I'll volunteer. Interesting sentence there for the second one. But yeah, a lot of different pizza, a lot of different opportunities. We'll make sure some Dallas salad pizza will be delivered. That's the best in town.
That's the best one, you say?
Yeah, no questions. Dallas salad. Yeah. Now, granted, did I work there and grow up with a family? Sure. So is that a little bit biased opinion? Of course. But I will say, Dallas Sal's Pizza, certainly phenomenal. That is the place. Okay,
that's my place.
Augie's currently running this place alongside his mom, still doing it back there. Shout out to Beth. We love the entire squad, love the family. That's what you're looking for.
Meat lovers.
Right? Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's everything on there, pal.
It's a good pizza. It's not the best.
I have it on good.
It looks much better than it did in that first photo.
That looks good.
I don't like the photo choice for the Dallas salad pizza that they used on the graphic.
Terrible. Looked like a piece of cardboard.
It did, and I don't like that at all. But you can also buy it half-baked, so it does kind of look like that. So then whenever you get home after a long day, you pick it up half-baked, you put it in the oven, now you got oven-baked pizza
the old take
from Dallas salad. It's taking care of people, because that's a working-class pizza.
Mama Moraldo loves the half-baked.
Oh, who doesn't? Who doesn't? Good people love the half-baked.
Pat, what is I have a couple questions. So one, what is Pittsburgh, at least pizza style wise? Is there a differentiating thing? Like, are they famous for thick, thin, stuffed crust, all that? And then what do we like? Like, what kind do we like?
Go ahead, Tone.
Like
Tone's about to slander, our friends and family. But go ahead.
No. I would say Pittsburgh, like, obviously New York, you know what a New York slice is. Detroit's got its own pizza. You guys up in Connecticut have your own style. We are just Chicago.
I really got a direct message from someone that says McAfee's pizza sucks.
Yeah, who said that? Fuck it, they don't want to say that to Dallas Sal's face. I'm gonna let you know that right now.
I didn't say Chicago because I don't respect.
Who said that? Vince what? Vince what? I would like to know names.
Vince, no, just
Vince Vaughn.
Okay, well, Vince.
It was probably the owner of Vincent's, which is a solid pizza.
Great pizza as well. I'll tell you what, Vinny doesn't do a bad job on pie, but now he's relaxed.
we kind of adopted all the pizzas, and then whatever shop you go to is kind of a style from potentially another place. Like, my favorite is Fiore's, which is more of a New York style pizza. Pat's favorite obviously is Della Sells, which is a square pizza. Everyone's got their different one. There's even one where it's cold cheese. I don't love that. That's called Beto's. But if you like pizza, it's got something for everybody. Whatever you like.
Rockaway.
Yeah, see,
Pizza Lupo?
no, but just make sure it's an Italian name. Okay,
Yeah.
just make sure it's an Italian name. So
Sabaro.
I don't know.
Yeah, boom, banger. Talk
Italian
about,
as they
do
come.
that.
talk about a
Don't
New York
do
slice.
that. Don't do that. Okay, we're not doing Fazzolini's either. We're not doing any of that. Okay, but
OG?
Pittsburgh, Dan. I don't know if it still stands, but like the densest per capita of Italians in a city in the world outside of Italy was like Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Actually,
Really? Italians
everywhere. I mean, all of them. They're all Italian. This is Anthony DiGiulio. This is Franklin Nicholas
does.
Marola. This is, I mean, these are, like this. I think Phil's even Italian. That's why he gets so tan in the entire thing. His last name is Maines or whatever. It's like everybody around me growing up was basically Italian. And when you move out to Indiana and there's none, except for Andretti up on a sign or something, it is a culture shock, I will say. It was a little bit of a wild time.
I love Italians.
They're the greatest.
I love Italian food. I love Italian food. I got to go to Italy. That's my number one place that I want to go to in the world.
Just go to Pittsburgh. You're going. You'll be there. It'll basically be the same damn thing. Okay, let's talk about the Super Bowl. Where's it at? San Francisco. Okay, can't wait to see who gets to Santa Clara. We got Aaron obviously taking on C.J. Stroud. Both of those guys have won in the playoffs. Feels like there's a lot of inexperience in the playoffs happening right in front of our eyes. Maybe the dawning of a new day in prime time. Go ahead, D-Bud.
Absolutely. And this weekend, we got Super Wild Card Weekend, and we got 4 quarterbacks looking for their first playoff win. Drake Maye, Bryce Young, Justin Herbert, and Caleb Williams. Who do you have most confidence in getting their first playoff win this year? Well, this round, I should say.
I think the Caleb and the Bears-Packers game just feels that there's a good shot for that. I think the world of Green Bay, but that game's going to come down to the final 3 minutes. Can Green Bay's defense, the last time we saw them out, at least with their guys, they got ran through by Baltimore. Obviously, that's the trademark of Chicago's offense, is their ability to run the football. D-Butt, you would know this, but I just think one of the things that makes it so challenging is, like, everybody's got to tackle, and then that creates those downfield shots for Caleb. And so, Caleb, there's still moments of inconsistency and head-scratching misses at times, but he makes big plays down the field when they present themselves. And so, I think that Caleb's got a good shot because of some of the injuries and, again, just the challenge of playing them. I would also say this. I think the Chargers-Patriots game is a very interesting matchup. If we just look at New England and the Chargers and we say, what's the weakness of the Chargers? Because of injury, you'd say the Chargers' offensive line, right? Just not an offensive line that is healthy enough. What's the weakness of New England? Defensively, it's their ability to get after the quarterback. And so I think maybe that kind of contrast or mitigating kind of leans to the potential for the Chargers offense to have some rhythm. And then I would say the second thing is this Chargers defense is different, man. I think it's one of the 5 to 6 best defenses in football, certainly one of the best in the playoffs. And I just don't think New England offensively has dealt with a defense like this one. Really good edge rushers. Derwin's outstanding. Speed at the linebacker position. Coverage that's very good. Well coached. And so I can see Herbert and the Chargers. I don't know where I stand pick-wise yet, but I think that's a really interesting game.
I'm fascinated by the Chargers as a whole, because I like their building, I like their coach, I like their culture, I like everything that's possible. But can they ever really get it done? I guess we shall see. And then let's go down to Duval. Another great story coming out of this weekend. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Dana, why do you think that the Bills are favorites going to Duval? I mean, we've seen what Jacksonville's done over the last several weeks, and I know they love it that way. We've already heard Liam Cohen kind of mention, like, hey, we're home underdogs, so we got everything we need. But why do you think they are underdogs at home, especially what we've seen out of Trevor Lawrence as of late? And how do you think that game's going to go?
1, the quarterback. 2, Buffalo's really good.
Okay.
I mean, Josh Allen's the best player in the playoffs.
Jacksonville's really good, too.
Yeah.
What, you don't know who they are?
You're not a believer.
You don't know who they are? You don't have Sean Cohen.
You hate Trevor Lawrence.
I want to let you know, Dan, we had a full conversation out there where I said we're not going to be rude to Dan Orlovsky today. It's 2026. We need to be nice.
Out the door.
What?
That went out the door.
Well, when you start talking about a lack of Italians in Pittsburgh, certainly it's going to start. Grazie, prego, all that stuff. But whenever we talk about this, whenever you say, well, Buffalo Bills are a really good football team, it's like,
yeah. Well, you asked me, why are they favored? And I said, 1, they have the best player in the playoffs. 2, they're still a really good football team. It's not like Josh Allen's going down there playing by himself. They have the leading rusher in football. They have arguably the best offensive line in football. They have the best right now coverage unit in football. And so there's a lot of really good stuff with Buffalo. And that's kind of why I said a couple weeks ago, like, let's move on from this. Does Josh Allen have enough? Yes.
Wait, you said best coverage unit?
Better than the
Texans? Talking about kickoff coverage?
Yeah.
What are you talking about here, Dano? Pass coverage?
I mean, right now, that secondary is playing at a very high level. Very high level.
Wow. Houston?
Yeah, Houston's unbelievable as well. Houston. Now, Seattle's secondary.
No.
Really good.
Some good units out there. Jeez.
Jacksonville?
They're not
New
as good.
England?
Secondary-wise as Buffalo? Nah, they're not as good as Buffalo's secondary's been fantastic the last 6 weeks.
All right, I trust you.
Fantastic.
I trust you, but now whenever you say that, that's acting like, like whenever you say they're a really good football team, is that the reason why they're favored of Jacksonville? You're kind of saying like Jacksonville not a really good football team. Just whenever you use that. I don't have to put one down to put up the other. It's like, well, you kind of do whenever the question is why is one favored over the other, and you say, well, one's really good. So what would that be?
I said the quarterback, and then Buffalo's a really good football team.
So that would indicate that Jacksonville's not a very good football team.
And the quarterback.
Buffalo got lead rusher too. Lead rusher in the league.
There you go.
James Cook is
unbelievable.
Who
Who has the number one rush defense in the NFL?
Who is it?
Oh, Jacksonville.
Who can't stop the run?
Who's that?
The Bills.
Oh, okay.
Who's not a very good run offense? Jacksonville.
Well, okay, so you don't think they're really good football team. There it is.
You're holding the Bills' water again.
I'm happy we got to that. Okay.
That's the weakness of the team. They're not a very good running football team.
Have you had eyes on Jacksonville?
You know that answer.
No,
it sounds like.
In real life, have you had eyes on them?
Oh, see them in person? No, I've not seen them in person, no.
Okay. So I can see how you can say eyes on them like film, I get it. But like whenever we saw them take on the Colts, and it was without dimes, obviously, so it is what it is. But it's just like, they're gigantic. They are all massive. Yeah. They're all very fast. And people are wide ass open. This guy should not be allowed to have the ball on offense. Parker Washington, I believe is his name. He's returner. Great returner. And Liam finds ways to get in the ball in space. It's like, this team is unbelievable. Like, I think a lot
really good.
A lot of people are very excited for Jacksonville this year. Obviously they had the Blake Bortles run. Whenever they go up to New England, take a knee before half, they could have continued to step on the throat of the Patriots. Second half, they collapse. Everything blows up after that. Literally everything blows up in Jacksonville. And then way before that, you had Brunell spinning it. Mm-hmm. And obviously Fred Taylor, absolute dog for that team. But like this one feels like the realest that Jacksonville's ever had. And it's just year one, hopefully, of what it is.
You know their defensive coordinator?
Paisan.
Anthony Campanelli.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yes. Did you see the tweet that Nick just sent you, by the way? Pittsburgh is the number one Italian per capita world place outside of Italy in the world. It makes sense. So go ahead and eat up over there, Dan. Mm-hmm. A lot of good sandwiches, too. Ready subs, whole Italian highlights. How you Maye, how you doing? Keep it moving. Yeah. Here's a lot of small words that just say numbers that say a lot of Italians in Pittsburgh.
A lot of East Coast.
Last question here. Yeah. The Italians said, is water here? Yeah.
And they put roots down and they don't leave.
Yeah, unless they're forced to. And then Chicago happens.
You got to go to your mom and pa's house every Sunday.
I think my grandmother, I think, was like maybe off the boat Italian, Montenero.
Oh, so you can say it then.
Oh, say what, Connor? Jeez, he's from Boston. That's complete opposite there. That's kind of an Irish run town with Italians there. Pittsburgh, Italian run place with a lot of Irish there. So that's kind of that's the reverse there, you see. Mm-hmm. We should actually have the Italian horn as a logo like the Celtics have, the three-leaf clover or whatever, if we really wanted to accurately depict what the Pittsburgh was and what Boston is. All right, last question here. Speaking of Boston, let's go up there. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Dano, look, there's no winning in this MVP, talk. I know you've probably seen it on the internet. No matter what, no matter who you say, you're going to get shit for. I even just laid out the reasoning for Matt Stafford yesterday, and people assume that I thought he should win the MVP. Obviously, as a New England Patriots fan, I believe Drake Maye should win the MVP. Matthew Stafford currently minus 180 at DraftKings, the best sportsbook on the planet. Drake Maye plus 150. That has switched over the last couple of weeks. Drake Maye has been the favorite, then Stafford. Currently, Stafford's the favorite. I would actually like to give you the chance here to explain to everybody, why do you think Drake Maye does deserve the MVP. Nothing about Stafford, nothing about the debate. Just talking about Drake Maye. Why do you think he deserves?
Oh, look, he's squirming. He's squirming right now. He's squirming.
No, this is my favorite moment for Connor because he's not trying to make me look like a
What's that?
Douche.
Oh, were we about to fudge and say something there?
Say it, Dan.
Dickhead.
Yeah, sound like you were about to fudge and let one slip.
I would tell you that number one,
Okay.
he probably did as much with as little as anybody in the NFL. Obviously, there's not a ton of stars on New England. I think Steph's had a fantastic year. I think Steph is in the running for, at least on the field, what he's done. Comeback player of the year. Hunter Henry is another big-time player. Hunter Henry quietly has had, like, statistically, I think like a top 30 season in the history of the NFL at tight end.
Pretty good.
Career. Top 30 career type stuff. Josh McDaniels is great. The two backs as patch casters, but they're not like these bona fide stars as a Puka Nacua is or a Devontae Adams. And so to have the season he's had without the no-brainer first team All-Pro or second team All-Pro guys, it speaks to how well he's played. Number two, to take a team that didn't have high expectations and obviously earned the 2 seed in the playoffs speaks volumes to how well he's played. And then three, and this is where I would say, Connor, people aren't going to like this, but this is just truly how I feel. I honestly believe unless you've watched just about every single snap of these guys, I think it's really hard to make a fair judgment. And I promise you there's not a lot of Patriots fans who have seen just about every snap of Stafford, and there's not a lot of Rams fans that have seen just about every snap of Drake Maye. What they've asked Drake Maye to do, just when it comes to the control of their offense, is pretty significant. And that's why you've watched this kind of climb steadily throughout the season, not only performance, but warranting very much so being at the top of that MVP conversation.
Hell yeah, Dano. We appreciate you. Well, you know you have a vote. We know you put it in just like Tone did. Odds have been taken away from DraftKings because the votes are already in, so you can certainly tamper a little bit. We can't wait to see who wins all these awards, and obviously being in the conversation is a great thing. Anytime we have a conversation with you, we appreciate the hell out of it. We love you, Dano.
Love you too, boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Dan Orlovsky.
Dano!
Had a seatbelt on in the parking lot. When he's driving, he doesn't wear it. You know, I think he's probably been yelled at before, like, hey, if you're going to be in the car, put a seatbelt on. He was like, all the time? And they're like, yes, all the time. And they parked it, and he was like, keeping it on. Mm-hmm. You know how he doesn't really wear it?
Oh, yeah.
Because that thing's coming. We got to, he probably doesn't even know.
No.
Somebody should tell him. Mm-hmm. He probably doesn't even know he can lift that thing.
Crazy.
It's all right, Dano. We love you, man. We
love you, Dan.
You know what else we love?
What's that?
That is also happening right now?
Huh.
Women's college hoops. Okay? Listen, I know nobody would expect us to be a women's college hoop show, but we certainly are. We caught the fever whenever Caitlin Clark was playing at Iowa, and Angel Reese was down there at LSU, and Dahn was doing her thing in South Carolina. It was like WWE mixed with wild hoops at the same time. Caitlin obviously comes here to the fever, changes the dynamic of our entire city. Excited for her to get back healthy. We took our show to Iowa for the first Friday of March Madness to celebrate the women's basketball team as opposed to the men's team, just to celebrate it all. So we are fans of the game, and this year there's 6 teams that seem to be in for the Natty. Now, UConn dominant yet again, D-Bud. I didn't know this.
Yeah, you can't talk about women's basketball without talking about UConn, one of the greatest dynasties ever. And Sarah Strong is keeping that going, defending champs. Obviously, she got one with Paige Buckets last year. She's only averaging 18 points, 8 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 3.5 steals on defense, and a block and a half while shooting 58% from the field. And also her running mate, Ozzie Fudd, who's leading the nation probably in three-point percentage, shooting 58% back there. 48%, I'm sorry.
God, UConn always good, it feels like. Always. South Carolina, always good. LSU, always good. What's that,
Yeah,
Tom?
actually, they started out 13-0 this year, and they've dropped their first 2 SEC games. A lot of people saying, wow, has Kim Mulkey lost her fastball, or is it just because that rat bastard Lane Kiffin's in there?
No! I didn't know people were saying that. We can't talk women's college hoops without talking about my favorite team, the 6th best odds. Let's go out to Ames, Iowa, shall we, Foxy?
You don't want to play your best basketball in January. You don't want to be a monster in January. You want to be a monster in March.
That's how you ain't. Oh, you're about to get cooked by all these crooks. Walking, talking, bucket has you shook. That's all these crooks. Oh, you're about to get cooked by all these crooks. Walking, talking, bucket has you shook. That's all these crooks.
Come on! Yeah. Come on! You're about to get cooked by all these crooks. Listen, I'm a huge fan of the way she operates. Huge fan. She just gets buckets.
Oh, yeah.
That is literally all she does. And did I know anything about Iowa State's women's basketball team ever? Nope. But Audie Crook's highlights pop on my algo, and I say, boys, immediately, I'm making a song, we're making a highlight. Because people are trying to take shots at Audie right now. ESPN's TikTok.
What?
Yeah, they're like, Baylor exposes Audie. It's like, you better fucking watch your mouth.
What the hell?
Okay? They made a couple shots. There's a lot of good teams. Audie Crooks is going to cook when everybody looks, and that's in March when she's a monster, Ty Schmidt. And you know it. Women's college hoops runs through Ames now over there in Iowa.
No, it certainly doesn't, but I do love Audie Crooks. She is a Iowa gal, born and bred, Algona, Iowa, so I will ride with Audie Crooks regardless of where she goes to college.
You're about to get cooked by Audie Crooks. That's
cute.
you, Carl.
That's cute. That's cute. We know who runs March. She said it. She better back it up.
She's going to be a monster in March.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be a monster today.
Mm-hmm.
What a good time. Song's a heater, though. All right, be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Might change your life. We'll see you on the other side.
Who is Pat McAfee?
I'm Pat McAfee.
Talks too much.
A little crazy at times.
Energetic.
Give me Alabama to break
hardest working dude I know.
He's an absolute force of nature.
We didn't stop.
There was a point in my life, all I could think about doing was professional wrestling.
I really didn't know what to expect.
Doesn't sit still, gets out of his seat.
You are anti-American.
I found out Pat was a rock star that weekend.
And right then, right there, I quit my job.
It's a very talented job, very entertaining.
There was a point in my life when all I could think about doing was being a comedian.
Listen, I enjoy being a punter, but not every fucking series, dude.
Some of the most absurd shit.
In the locker room, Pat was kind of the guy for us. He was kind of our voice almost.
You know, I could give a shit about who the hell the punter for the Colts is.
He brings the juice all the time to anything that he's doing.
We got a cannon!
We're going to increase our output of content by 10,000%.
How am I going to commentate when A, you can't hear me, I'm delayed on what I say, and when I do speak, you guys just keep going like I didn't say anything. Like, what am I doing? I got to re-examine my whole life.
He had my heart pounding there for the first little while.
And just kicking the ball against the house.
No way in hell am I going to live in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Nobody can move the crowd like he can.
The cigarette selling came up.
It's really his money.
Point in my life when all I could think about was being an actor.
This is your principal speaking. Magic happening everywhere. Because of who? Me.
You know, he's one of my best friends.
And it was the best decision I've ever made in my life.
It's been a hell of a ride.
Probably the best decision I've ever made in my life.
Now I think I found my true love, and that's I want to be like a talk show host. It's what I want to do. I love talking to people. I love learning things about people. I think people want to tell you a story, and you just got to get it out of them.
This should be good.
You don't want to play your best basketball in January. You don't want to be a monster in January. You want to be a monster in March.
That's how they crooks. Oh, you're about to get cooked by
Hey, let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Super Wild Card Tuesday, January 6, 2026. Hour 2 of the program begins right now. Football is the greatest. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this for a living. Super Wild Card Weekend is coming up, and both college football playoff semifinals are preceding it. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday are going to have magical football to get us through the greatest weekend of all time. The Toxic Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys AP Tone is here. Tone, as we projected the lines, is there anything that kind of sticks out or a little bit unusual as you look at the betting action?
For college football, no. I mean, it's pretty standard. Indiana is getting, I believe, 60-some% of the bets, which is not shocking, just the way that they have looked. And then the Ole Miss Miami game is a little more even. And I think that's because of the storylines and just how the magical run that both of these two teams are on. But nothing out of the ordinary that I'm seeing with these two games in these situations.
How about Super Wild Card Weekend? Anything we're seeing that makes us go, "Oh, that's interesting"? Sportsbooks, DraftKings will certainly like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of home dogs in this round of the playoff. Obviously, you're going to get that when the Steelers and the Carolina Panthers are hosting games as they won their conference. And then there was a flip recently between the Bears and the Packers. Packers were favored by 1.5. Now the Bears are favored by 1.5. Even though Green Bay on the money line is -112, Bears are -108. So this is basically a true pick 'em in that game.
Okay, so the Chicago maybe atmosphere turned that thing to them being favors by 1.5. But could you go back to talking about the money line on DraftKings? Money line, just straight up pick for the Green Bay Packers is -112. You said?
Yeah, last time I looked, yes.
And Chicago Bears money line pick, just picking them to win, is -108.
Correct.
Which would say that the Green Bay Packers are actually favored to win that because they're taking a little bit more off of your bet if Green Bay wins as opposed to the Chicago Bears. That means they think that Green Bay is more likely to win because they're taking on a bigger risk whenever you're taking that bet as opposed to taking the Chicago Bears in their eyes. Then, whenever you talk about the spread, them being -1.5, I believe that was before it flipped. Or is it flipped again? Has this flipped again? It has flipped again? Okay, just flipped yet again. Okay, wow, so this thing is dancing back and forth. The Green Bay Packers now favored on the road. This could be a big bet coming in. This could be monitoring of something. This could be an injury up. This could be literally anything. You're talking about a true coin flip, it feels like, is what DraftKings is saying. And during the regular season, it was split outcomes anyways. Ty, how does this make you feel about what's going on with the books?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me with how banged up the Packers are as well. But like you said, the two games during the regular season, like they were both incredibly tight. First game, Packers won 28-21, and Caleb Williams threw an interception on their last play of the game essentially. And then in the second meeting, the Packers kind of dominated the first 55 minutes of the game or so, and then the Bears score a touchdown. They obviously recover the onside kick, score again, go into overtime and win. So I would say, I mean, it makes sense. You would think that the Bears, this is a very close matchup between these two teams, and they obviously know each other very well, but it would make sense that you would give the slight nod to the Bears being at home.
How do you feel about this one? 9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler. You got Caleb obviously playing his best ball that we've ever seen him play. And then for the Packers, there's still a lot of interesting conversations happening around their entire operation over there.
Absolutely. Health is always critical when it comes to these games. That's why you see all these different teams and coaches rest some of their star players. And Todd just mentioned it, a bunch of their key players are banged up. Obviously, probably going to be an all-pro this year, Micah Parsons. This is where you're going to really miss him on that defense side of the ball. I'm kind of leaning Chicago, even though this is Caleb's first, playoff atmosphere. It'll be a first for a lot of different things. He'll be at home. He's still not necessarily hitting the singles yet. I would say he definitely has that home run hitting ability. The run game he has to lean on. Defense, they're going to get the turnovers to set him up, I think. So, yeah, I'm leaning Chicago. And there's a lot of pressure. I'm hearing some rumblings with Matt LaFleur on the sideline too. So Ben Johnson's obviously very comfortable. So yeah, I'm leaning Chicago on this one.
Hold on, but I heard there's an extension coming. I mean, there's been a lot of conversation around Coach LaFleur and what the future looks like. Ty, is that not accurate? I think?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't know if there's pressure per se, but it's just like, hey, guess what? You can't lose this one. You know, it's like the Packers at the start of the year. And granted, again, we talk about this with Ballard and Steichen and the Colts and like injuries. Injuries are a very real thing, but when the Packers traded for Micah Parsons, that was like signaling, hey, this is the piece that we need to get us over the hump to go win a Super Bowl. And early on there, when he was healthy and they were healthy, it looked like they were one of the best teams in the NFL. And but since he's gotten hurt, they've kind of limped into the playoffs, which is exactly what they did last year. And again, the Packers are one of those franchises like the Steelers or, you know, one of those like winning one playoff game or just getting into the playoffs. Like that doesn't really sit well. They need to win an NFC championship or go to a Super Bowl. So I think if they struggle here, my guess would be that there will be very serious talks and considerations into not re-signing Matt LaFleur and maybe getting rid of him if the Packers do lose this weekend.
Joining us now is the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. That is on no sources. That is just our opinions from the situation, or is it from sources?
No, not sources, but it's like everyone who is associated with Packers media, like beat reporters, people who do radio shows. Schneid's, you know, yeah, guys like that. Like everyone is kind of talking about it because that was a big deal when they asked Ed Policy about it at the start of the year, and he basically said, so Schneidman asked Ed Policy at the start of the year.
Who's Ed Policy?
Ed Policy is the de facto. He's the president of the Packers right now. He's the
owner.
one. Yeah, exactly. The de facto owner. He's kind of running the show, and he was non-committal on giving extensions to both LaFleur and Gutekunst. So it was kind of like, oh, okay. He didn't outwardly say that they're going to extend these guys. So there is room to believe then maybe if this season doesn't end the way that they want it to or expect it to, that there's a chance they don't get new contracts.
Is that Carmine's boy?
That is Carmine's boy.
And they make big moves.
Yeah, big time. He was the one who basically came in and put the hammer down to get Micah Parsons.
Now, you bring Micah in, you're unbelievable. Micah gets hurt. You don't do his play as well. Is that going to be held against Gutekunst and LaFleur? We shall see. Just like here in Indianapolis, we bring in Danny Dimes. He was incredible. Danny Dimes breaks his leg. We stink. Who do you hold? Do you hold that against Chris Ballard? Do you hope for that type of return after Danny Dimes comes back? Are we bringing back Danny Dimes not on a contract?
Yep.
It's like all those things have to happen in every single building. Fascinating if it happens in Green Bay, because that's a job everybody on earth would want.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that is certainly something they want. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, a man who has celebrated another trip around his son, AJ Hawk.
Yeah. Birthday, AJ.
Happy birthday to all who celebrate here on January 6th. It is AJ Hawk's birthday. We love you, buddy.
Happy birthday, Hawk.
Happy birthday, Hawk. Happy
birthday
to you.
Yep.
Happy birthday to you. Him on full screen, dear Hawker. Happy birthday to you.
Let's go to the Capitol!
All right.
No. That's a different January 6th celebration. Ours is always and will always be Hawker's birthday. Happy birthday, Hawker. You look good there on full screen. Want to make sure that happened just strictly so that the people could see whose birthday it was. Because with all these faces and places, people could potentially be confused on whose big day it is. It's yours. Happy birthday, AJ. We love you, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate that, guys. One thing I don't think you mentioned is Bears-Packers situation, the rivalry, the head coaches. They don't really, there's some weird animosity between those two, isn't there?
Yeah, and I like the fact that they've continued the rivalry, continue the tradition. And the fact that we're getting to experience it in primetime on Super Wildcard Weekend on Saturday night is just a special thing. It's a special game. It's going to be a special atmosphere, and the game is going to live up to expectations. AJ, how do you feel about this one for your Pack?
I mean, honestly, I feel pretty good about it. As long as Jordan Love's health is okay, I understand, like, for Caleb and the Bears, there's definitely, there's pressure on both these teams. We know that. It is an added thing with the whole LaFleur rumors. I understand that's not, like, we don't have any solid information or whatever, but there's always rumblings about that if they don't win this game. But I feel pretty good about where the Pack are going into Chicago. I feel like they feel like maybe people aren't giving them a chance, or people are been hyping up the Bears all year and Caleb and what they've done. So I feel like the Packers are kind of laying in wait, hopefully have a big game.
Let's go around the Super Wildcard teams. And we're the only ones calling it Super Wildcard?
No, that's what it's called.
No, it's Super Wildcard.
Yeah, it's Super Wildcard Weekend.
I don't know if I've heard it.
I haven't seen anybody else really say it.
Super Wildcard.
I've heard it in the past. I don't know if I'm seeing anybody. It's super wild. It's super weak.
Super wild card weekend.
It's leading into Super Bowl season.
Exactly.
It's super wild card weekend, obviously. Let's just go around. I don't think either of these coaches are in trouble if they lose. McVay or or Canales. I don't think so. This one, it seems like from what everybody that is following Green Bay is saying, certainly a conversation if Green Bay was to lose this game about the coachers. McDermott, it'll get loud.
Yeah, very much so.
It'll get real loud for McDermott. And that hasn't even been brought up or broached at this moment. And we're not calling for this. We're just saying the reality of the situation. With Josh Allen being the best football player on earth, an alien is how everybody views it. Buffalo Bills fans, if McDermott can't get the job done, they're blaming him. They're not blaming Josh Allen. They're saying it's him that they can't win. No Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow, no anything in the playoffs, and you can't get the job done. It's going to get loud for McDermott, and nobody has talked about that at this point.
It has also gotten very, very loud for Brandon Beane, at least from the Buffalo people, especially with how the Keon Coleman situation has kind of happened this year with him being a healthy scratch. It's gotten loud for the GM as well.
Shanahan and Sirianni, they're both good, right?
Yeah.
Well, Sirianni,
it'll get loud.
They'll ask for Sirianni's job, but that's just because it's Philly.
Shanahan will get loud too.
Mm-hmm.
They always attack like
True.
what his record is. They always
True.
do that entire thing. And I'm not saying they should without Fred and Bosa on the defensive side. They're nowhere near at full capacity, but it always does kind of get loud for Shanahan if they don't win a Super Bowl. Ain't that accurate, AJ?
Yeah, that's definitely accurate. I also think if you lose, how you lose plays a big factor in if they're thinking about possibly moving on from head coach. If you get rocked, if you go out there and, look what happened to Alabama and Indiana. If you get dominated physically on both sides of the ball, like, people definitely have questions.
Yeah, people give up hope. The interesting thing, and I don't want to get too off topic here with Alabama, you look at all the other coaching staffs that are left, they're all Saban disciples. Alabama decided to go away from Saban in their next decision. I wonder if Alabama people are going to be good with that if they continue to not win national championships while Saban disciples win national championships. So these other schools are taking our fucking recipe.
They won't.
And then we say, well, we need a guy from foot. Make it make sense. I don't understand why everybody wants a piece of Saban's tree, okay? Hey, Saban's apples are blooming everywhere. These things are great. Johnny Appleseed, this fucking guy. He's getting every other school that's good is pulling from the Saban tree, and then we decide, cut the tree down, put a field up, and get the hell on. I bet you Alabama people are going to get pretty loud about that.
I think they already have.
Yeah.
I just thinking about that, and then we got Coach Saban, I think, on tomorrow. And I know he's tight with Greg Byrne, who's the AD, and he's very close with the Alabama community and everything like that. So I'm wondering how I'm going to phrase that to Coach Saban. But I thought about this last night and the night before about it all, just because we're seeing the four disciples and the way Cignetti talked and the way Lanning was talking and they all talk about Coach Saban. It's like Cignetti said, I'll learn more about being a head football coach, all right, in 1 year with Saban than I did the 27 years before that, he said. That's what Cignetti said about Saban.
Yeah.
So then for Alabama to choose to not go with a Saban disciple, like that's an actual decision that was made. And I got disrespected for Coach Saban. And it's like, Coach isn't going to feel disrespected. He'll high road it. He'll be very nice about Alabama and everything. But I immediately, as I was sitting in my house, that was in a state where it was legal, maybe a little hot, I fired off a text. I typed up a full text to Coach Saban about, you need to stop going to these basketball games and sit with this guy. Like every other school was looking for you, is basically what they were trying to do. And your own school try to move on. I could see that he won't be disrespected by that. But it is something that's very fascinating whenever you think about how loud it got with that. And I think it's justifiable. And we love Kalen DeBoer. I think Kalen DeBoer is an incredible coach. I liked the hire. Whenever it happened, I thought he was maybe one of the only accomplished guys that could go in and fill the shoes of Coach Saban in Alabama. And maybe that's the reason why they wanted to go a different direction, AJ. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Usually, if it still ended well with Saban, it wasn't like, oh, he was great and then he wasn't good the last couple of years. Then I understand going like, hey, we're going to bring in the opposite of what we had. But no, it was good and he decided to step away. See ya. And yeah, I don't know. I guess at the time, though, it sounded like it made sense for DeBoer to come in.
Yeah, for me, I was on DeBoer's side, still am. But then now we're kind of watching this all trickle, and it's like all of these coaches are saying, this guy birthed me, basically.
Yep.
And he birthed this era of Alabama football. And it's like, why does everybody else want something that you guys got except for you guys? Like that could be something. Now, granted, I'm going to look for disrespect guy. Okay, I am. Coach Saban is not. He spends his energy in solutions. All right, not problems. I'm not looking for that type of stuff. But I'm excited to hear his kind of. This is me telling Jimmy Sexton to go ahead or Miss Amy, please tell Coach Saban that this is coming tomorrow. Okay, that I am certainly asking if he is disrespected by the fact that every good team in the country is trying to get a Coach Saban light in there, and except for your school is trying to. And I love Kalen. This is not me backhanding Kalen DeBoer. This is me watching a Saban disciple, Saban, a coach at the Rose Bowl with our own eyes right there. Signetti is just dissecting every attention to detail. Every single thing is, Saban's entire thing is attention to detail. It's just like bomb, bomb, bomb.
Yeah.
Got a plan for everything. I got a plan for everything. Signetti, hyper like that. Lanning, hyper like that. This Golden guy, I assume there's a lot of Saban coming through in his leadership techniques right now.
All right.
And Cristobal, yeah, well, all right. He says, all right,
Yeah.
all right. And Cristobal, he gives, the way he talks about
Yeah.
Coach, it's like, that's an interesting decision, hindsight being 2020.
Especially with us having boots on the ground and seeing Miami a couple times and then seeing Bama just get completely bullied. It's like, okay, you know Cristobal and how he designed his team. You know how Sig has designed his team, like just physical. I mean, that's all we know from, you know, Alabama football. And then to actually see that, like at that point in the fourth quarter, it was like, damn, this is embarrassing. Like, these boys laid down. It's one thing to get beat, but it's another thing to just get absolutely punished. So, yeah, it's very, very odd. And the Bama people, to your point, Ty, they've kind of, I feel like, kind of been out almost since the hiring. Like, it was impossible for Kalen to live up to those standards. It'd be impossible for anybody to live up to Saban standard, but just the Alabama standard or even the SEC standard in general for Kalen was tough to step into that.
Yeah, maybe not Golding. I don't really know as much with him, but it feels like all three, Signetti, Lanning, and Cristobal, wanted to build their own, you know, Saban-type aura at their specific schools. Like Lanning especially, he's been up for every single job, and his whole entire thing is the grass is damn green in Eugene. Cristobal leaves Oregon just to go to Miami because, you know, alma mater, like very much a connection there, wants to bring that place back. And Signetti, I mean, granted, much different situation, him going to IU with the whole entire Bama job, but like IU has gone all in on Signetti. Like, you wonder if all those guys, all those Saban disciples that are so successful would rather, like, hey, I want to go and be Nick Saban, but at a different school, not at the Alabama itself.
Yeah, taking over that Bama job at the time, AJ, not easy for anybody. I think, like, literally.
Impossible.
He's
like
still
Belichick.
there. He's still there.
Yeah.
Statue still, you're playing on his field, he's still there.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's talking ball on the weekends, and everybody agrees with everything he says. And whenever he goes on and pontificates about shit, we put that on X, obviously, and all that's gone. Those numbers are outrageous. And I'm not saying like the numbers matter because only good numbers matter, but these are good numbers. These are not like people watching it because they hate it. It's numbers of people watching going, yeah, that's actually my opinion going forward now. That is how I feel. And he's still doing that on a big stage while this team's happening. So not an easy job at all, we're saying, but it's just very weird that everybody else is trying to get a piece except for whenever they had to make the decision there. Was that disrespectful? Coach, you disrespectful? I'm kind of disrespectful. You called me one of your best friends. Respect. I view you the same way. I like that you did that. I did not know that that's how we view each other. I'm pumped up about that. I want to let you know that. And as one of your best friends, I'm disrespected by what's going on down there. And that's who I'll be in your friend group. I don't know how many of those you have. I will certainly be the one that'll be.
You need a couple. You need a couple of those.
Yeah, always have been that person in the group. So I'm excited to do that for Coach Saban. Coach, this is a good time. Just wait. You know, just you won't have to say anything. I will. Now, you're probably going to have to say, I don't feel like that. Right now, I'll say, okay, I'll be clear.
Go take an NFL gig, too. Give him one of these NFL gigs. I want to see him back in the league. He won't, but still.
Raiders?
I think he's pretty happy with what he's doing right now. That's his answer all the time. I'm really happy with what I'm doing right now. Him and Miss Terry going to the Alabama basketball game the other night, just kind of casually sitting.
Yeah.
Greg Burr.
Sweet.
I'm going to get some popcorn maybe. Let's do this. Oh, I'm going to go golf with the lads. All right. Oh, I'm going to go golf with business partners that are maybe worth $1 billion like I am. Okay, I'm going to do that.
Oh, what are they going to say about Indiana now?
Yeah, exactly. My golfing buddies just had no idea. Tee off the first tee. Alabama should beat the hell out of what? Got a no ball.
Might be saying, why didn't we hire Sig? Like having this exact conversation.
Okay, so on that note, Sig and Kalen DeBoer, similar, right? Small school success, have a lot of success. and then get put into a big position. Like I think a lot of these rookie quarterbacks, if you see a lot of ball in college, kind of puts you in a better position. I think a lot of reps at smaller places to get them into those positions. Signetti could have been a guy maybe that fills in those shoes.
Can you imagine?
And also,
we have the JMU coach.
Loves the opportunity.
Yeah,
oh my God.
No chance.
That would have been so loud.
Yeah, DeBoer went from a natty to Bama. Like it's not as if he went to Tony's point, like JMU. This guy was playing in the national championship.
But what we have the beautiful thing of is hindsight.
Of course, we do. 2020,
Greg Bird,
baby.
what are you doing, brother?
Yeah.
We need you to be a better talent evaluator. We need you to know who's the right guy for the right job. Not saying Kalen DeBoer can't win it all. We certainly think he can. But is Alabama the right place for Kalen DeBoer and how he operates? We'll see.
You would have hired Kalen.
Me?
Those resumes?
Did you see
he won a
Signetti
playoff
on our
game.
show? He said, hey, NCAA, why don't you suck it on our show? I would have hired that guy.
With those resumes, you look at Kalen's record, like even going into Washington,
It's like 10 games.
the national
Yeah, it was like
championship
100.
appearance, like. I mean, if Signetti was like an SEC guy for 10, 20 years, maybe different, but
He's down there in Alabama.
Yeah.
He had a couple. He was a
IUP,
pit stop
Elon.
down there. Yeah, but he's more of a
IUP, school program. Coach Sirianni's dad, I believe, coached at
Yeah.
IUP. Mm-hmm. That's almost a factory down there. There used to be some rumors about IUP about, go up there, you might leave with something. Good times.
I told the boys that.
What do you mean?
Just good times. You're going to leave with a hangover for sure whenever you go up to IUP. That was kind of the rules. And I think a couple of those bars are still there, still doing it. And I was up there when I was just a young lad, like a teenager, certainly in there as Jason McAfee, still doing it. So I think IUP is still bringing it out there, so we appreciate that. Love ball there at IUP.
Yeah, they love ball. My brother went to school there. They're known for STDs, AJ. That's what they're known for.
They were, not anymore. Obviously, they clean that up, which we're very proud of them for doing
How do
it.
you clean that up?
Tech and
Well, you know how you clean up, just people graduate, and, now we got a new group in there.
The youngsters, you break the chain. Yeah, don't let the youngsters continue it. You're right.
I mean, that was a wild thing just to be, all right, let's move along.
There's a couple Ohio schools that have that same kind of
Ohio
situation
State.
going on.
I think it's I think it's rude to IUP because IUP have had great times up there.
Sure.
I mean, great times. There was a couple basement frat parties that I was at up there. People had no idea who I was. Just terrible sound systems, DJs sweating on top of everything. Just
It's college, baby.
oh,
That's right. Yeah.
good times up there. And taking it back the ball, Fernando's living a college life with the boys. Did you hear that, AJ, whenever he said that? I thought that was a big deal for the number 1 overall pick.
I agree. Yeah, because you wouldn't think that. And then I saw the clip of him walking in with the boys to a local establishment. It looked like, I mean, that is true. Like, you don't have to sit there and go and get hammered with the boys every single night, every weekend. But it is, I think you need to hang out with them off the field for sure.
Team chemistry is built a lot better around a keg than it is kale, has been my saying since the beginning of time. Now, you could change kale out and put maybe another leaf in there, and maybe I would think it's kind of equal, but nonetheless, need to be hanging around the boys. Like, that needs to be something that a quarterback does. You're the CEO of the locker room. That is what your immediate job is. So you got to know everybody, you got to have relationships. You got to take time out of your life to build the relationships. And it's like, I think Fernando has all the pieces. He just got there about a year ago.
Yeah.
Hang out with the boys, rally around the boys, everything. It's like, that's good leadership. I'm excited to see him in the NFL. Joining us now is a man who's known as a quarterback whisperer for the NFL. He's worked with every great quarterback that has ever existed. And coached with every coach that's ever coached ball.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, multiple-time Super Bowl champion, Coach Maye.
Yay!
How you doing?
What's up, boys?
Hey, great to see you. We missed you in here this morning, obviously, and your vibes and energy drinks are certainly something that we are going to miss for the rest of the way, but we appreciate you joining us here. What I was just saying there about Fernando, how real is that, you think? Being able to hang out with the boys, have a couple beers, alongside being 6'5", 230, and able to break down a defense. What are your thoughts on this Fernando Mendoza kind of sensation and him at the next level, Mr. Quarterback Whisperer?
Yeah, I think he's got all the traits, man, and drinking beer is one of them, especially with the offensive line. Every quarterback's got to take care of his offensive lineman and maybe a top receiver or two. But he's got all the measurables. The guy can spin it. He's athletic. Reminds me a lot of Drake Maye coming out. Same height, speed. But, yeah, he can place the ball anywhere he wants to put it.
What's the difference between the NFL and college for these quarterbacks? Now, there had been a conversation that all these second chapter quarterbacks that are around the league. We've seen them. Darnold, Baker, Kirk. You just go around all these second chance quarterbacks almost that have had an uptick in success. A lot of people started saying, well, they've seen the defenses. They understand what the defenses are, so they're able to make decisions. These younger quarterbacks, with the way ball is in high school and college, kind of slowed down the development of the football IQ maybe. Is that an accurate depiction of what is happening at the quarterback position in your eyes? And do you think Fernando, Dante, any of these guys are maybe getting back to understanding what's happening on the defensive side?
Yeah, I think the volume of defense that young quarterbacks see is just so huge. You know, they might see 4 coverages in college and maybe 5 blitzes versus 8 or 9 different variations of coverage and 20 different blitzes in a game. Mendoza looks like he can handle the pressure extremely well. He seems very bright. Haven't sat down with him. I'd love to sit down with him, put him on the board and get to know him a little better. But he just looks like he's got the cerebral part down pat.
How many young quarterbacks should we see having success in the future? Because it has been a little bit of a run here of these younger guys starting to really break out. And you look at this playoffs, not a lot of playoff wins from a lot of these quarterbacks. It almost feels like we're completely in the dawning of a new era of the QB. Do you agree with that? And how do you feel about these young guys heading into their biggest games that they've ever played?
Yeah, I think for sure the NFL's in great position right now with a bunch of good young quarterbacks and a couple more that are going to come in next year. But, yeah, I think with the playoffs, advantage to the guys who've been there and done it, you know, to Josh Allen's, Aaron Rodgers. But the rest of those guys, I mean, there's some talented young people out there that can really play. Trevor Lawrence is playing at a super high level. Caleb Williams is playing at a high level. Brock Purdy. I mean, you know, Jalen Hurts is MVP in the Super Bowl last year. So, I mean, the league has got a number of great quarterbacks. And we're not even talking about Mahomes and the guys that are missing. You know, Justin Herbert's in there. So, I think it's going to be a whale of a playoff series.
Most important time of the year, most important position in the game. Feels like we got studs everywhere, and the defenses are about to make it tough for them. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, BA, when you're evaluating these quarterbacks coming out of college, I guess what was your formula, or how did you do it? Did that change over the course of your time in the NFL, and how you tried to, I guess, predict success in the NFL for these guys?
Yeah, for me, you know, I didn't like comparing people, but I love comparing measurables and who a guy might remind me of. You know, when I did it for like 20 years, and, you know, I'd love to sit down with them individually and get them on the board, talk to them about hots, blitzes. Tell me about your offense. Now, if a guy can put his up and explain to him what he's going to do versus cover 2, what do you do versus this blitz, I want to hear how you handle it. Then we're going to put our offense up on the board and talk to them about it. And then out in the middle of the workout, I might walk up and say, okay, it's man protection. Here comes the weak safety. How are you going to handle it? And the best 2 I've ever seen were Andrew Luck and Patrick Mahomes. Peyton was great too, but Andrew Luck, I tried to fool him. He said, no, that's exactly what you said. You're right. That's exactly what I said. Mahomes just spit him out. I was slide protection. Here comes a strong safety. Fix it. He's throwing the ball. He makes the right call. I mean, in a 15-minute meeting, these guys had it down. It may take some guys 2 or 3 years. Some never get it.
Okay, so my question is then how do we miss on guys? If that is possible in 15 minutes, being able to find that out. Why do you think there's so many misses at the quarterback position, which there has been? Now, granted, as of late, feels like there's more hitting. Feels like there's a little bit more hitting as of late. But there was a run there where we had no idea if the quarterback was going to be good or not. How did people miss, and why did people miss, you think?
I found sometimes it's system fit and a really shitty team. I mean, if you're getting picked in the top 5, you're going to a really shitty team most of the time. You know, you're not lucky. Like Ben Roethlisberger was pissed. He dropped down to 11th, but he got on the Pittsburgh Steelers with the best defense in the world. He wins 15 games as a rookie. That showed young quarterbacks, I don't have to go in the top 5. You know, that money is not necessarily going to come on this contract. It's going to come on the next one. And but you get in those teams, and if you don't have an offensive line, so many times, like you pick this quarterback. I'm looking at the Raiders right now, and to pick a quarterback to fix them right now, I think would be a bad mistake. You got a hell of a lot of other things to fix. Well, one quarterback ain't fixing all that shit. And you better get an offensive line in front of this kid. You got a great running back. Get an offensive line. If you can slide down a couple spots and maybe get one that you really, really like, a little bit later in the top 5 or 6 picks.
I think Mendoza's generational. You're the quarterback whisperer, so free agency, you can flip an offensive line too. We saw Chicago Bears do that. They traded for Tooney, which was a massive move, pay 2 other guys to shore up kind of the middle. Ben Johnson says, we need an offensive line. I love Caleb, but we need to do this because our run game's going to be whatever. It's going to be able to protect Caleb, and that's worked very quick.
Yeah.
I mean, the offensive line is like literally the key, it feels like, to whether or not you're going to be ass. You know, BA, that feels like that's the biggest deal.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, who's available, and you have to have a trade partner. You know, what are you giving up to get those guys? And the Bears did a great job. You know, they solidified that inside interior part of that offensive line, which they needed to, and that's put them in the playoffs. Because Caleb is now not running for his life all the time. He's just running to run and make plays. You know, and he's very comfortable in the pocket because he's got a pocket. You know, these other cats, I think back of David Carr and Tim Couch. In their first 2 years, they were sacked 140 times. I mean, Timmy Couch, he was all broken up by the time I got him. Hell of a player. Was never a bust. Was a great player. He was just torn all to pieces by the time I got him. His arm was about to fall off, and it's tough as nails. But to get to some of these teams, you know, if I'm a quarterback, I say, I ain't coming. I pull an Eli. So I ain't coming.
Eli, John Elway, it has happened a couple different times, and obviously what happens around you is certainly very important to how you have success at the quarterback position. In football, there's 11 people on the field for a reason, but boy, these quarterbacks take all the blame.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get all the credit as well.
That's right.
And a lot of the money.
Yeah.
And a lot of the money. Okay, let's talk about Ben Johnson. We talk about him being able to shore up the offensive line. Whenever he took over the job, everybody thought he was going to be great. This is the belle of the ball. He's turned out to do just that. This is his first time in a big stage, though. Go ahead, D-Bud.
Absolutely. So, Caleb, Ben, obviously it starts with him. You talk about quarterbacks getting the shit beat out of him. Caleb went from taking 68 sacks last year to only 24 this year. But what changes on the playoff stage? I know we all, as players, everything just got faster for whatever reason. You go from preseason speed to regular season speed to postseason speed. From a coaching standpoint, what changes once you get to the playoff stage, especially with a young quarterback?
Yeah, I think it's a level of preparation. You know, everybody's fired up. Everybody's intense. For the Bears, they're going to play somebody for the 3rd time. That's hard. And but they know each other. Just get healthy, get ready, get a game plan. Ben's always got surprises for people. But they didn't just fix an offensive line. They got Swift and they got Rome Odunze and Luther Burden. They got weapons, young tight ends, because Ben's a 12 personnel guy. They got 2 tight ends that can really play. I love the Bears' offense when those kids are all healthy on the outside.
I appreciate the fact that Chicago Bears culture was flipped so quickly. They're not the only ones, man. New England seemingly was able to get back to where they wanted to be. And then if you think about Carolina Panthers are hosting a damn playoff game.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot going on around being Jolene Cohen. He was hired late. This guy's not even going to be able to hire a staff. Mm-hmm. This guy, because Bruce Arians ain't going to let him hire anybody out of Tampa Bay. This guy's not going to be able to hire a damn staff. That's how late it was in the process. They hire, a 21-year-old GM in Stoner? They got no shot, and here we go. Now, all of a sudden, the Jacksonville Jaguars are hosting a damn playoff game, which leads greatly into... Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our favorite segment of the season. It's BS or No BS with BA. We appreciate the hell out of you, BA. Go ahead, con man.
Yeah, Bruce, right now there are 3 home underdogs in the first round of the playoffs, and picking them all to win is the right thing to do. Is that BS or no BS, BA?
I think that's no BS, brother. I mean, when you look at the teams that are on Houston, got great defense, quarterback's playing great. Going to make the road to Pittsburgh. I don't think that's a tough one for him. Buffalo and Jacksonville, that's a tough one for me because Jacksonville is really, really hot, but I'm not betting against Josh Allen because he's been there and done it. And, of course, the Rams and the Panthers, the Rams went out there and got embarrassed in Carolina. I don't see that happening again with that defense and Matthew Stafford playing at that level. I think they're all safe picks. The only one that's really questionable is Jacksonville because Liam's got him playing so good.
Okay, so is that supposed to be BS then? It's supposed to be BS or
Don't take the road dog.
Okay, so the favorites are going to win.
So you like the favorites, BA? Is that what
I like all the favorites. Yeah, I'm going to take all the favorites. Yeah.
Okay, so we got a little bit of a scandal here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back.
That's BS, baby.
That's BS, baby.
That's BS.
Yes, BS, baby.
Circle that BS,
That's
baby.
BS, baby. That's what that certainly is right there. Okay, let's get to the next one. Go ahead, Ty Schmidt.
All right, Coach, you just mentioned it a little bit there. Defensive head coaches are all the way back. There will be more defensive head coaches hired this coaching cycle than offensive head coaches. Is that BS or no BS, BA?
I think that's BS too.
Whoa!
I think the defensive coaches are way more qualified, but the hiring cycle the last 4 years has been all offense. Everybody, I've had 2 calls this morning, people looking at different people, and they're looking for young offensive coaches. And it baffles me because when I think of the defensive guy, Brian Flores and Vance Joseph and Robert Saleh and Steve Spagnuolo, just to mention a few on defense, unbelievable defensive head coach. But the trend, I mean, Kevin Stefanski is going to get a job real fast. I think Matt Nagy's got a shot, and you're going to hear his name, Clint Kubiak. And I would think if somebody's smart, they bring back Mike McCarthy.
Oh, hell yeah.
Ooh,
Hey, we think he does want to get back into the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like he enjoyed the hell out of his life. First time he's had a fall in, 50 years or whatever it was, the story. He got to hang out with his kids, got to go see volleyball. I loved it. Go duck hunting up there with his dog.
Gus,
which is an
Good
award-winning duck hunting dog
Mm-hmm.
in Gus. I think he enjoyed all of that, but he's a football guy through and through. You know, he was excited to get back in there. And I feel like he learned a lot from watching from this perspective as opposed to being in a building. Do you think that's possible with coaches maybe away from the game for a year and then you kind of get back in with, I don't want to say a brand new, but a different perspective maybe than you had?
Oh, yeah, totally. I did that with CBS after Arizona. You know, I thought my health was not going to be good, and I got it all fixed up and, decided to get back in. And the one thing I decided I was not going to call plays. I was not going to be the head coach and the offensive coordinator. I probably would not have taken the job if Byron Leftwich wasn't available. And to me, it's still a crime that we're not talking about Byron Leftwich in this head coaching cycle. That's the brightest offensive mind I've ever been around.
I love to hear that. Byron Leftwich obviously could spin it as well. I've never been around him on a day-to-day. Tough. Just what a name, too. Byron Leftwich, synonymous with ball. I appreciate the fact that you away from it, come back and say, I could probably be a better leader as a whole if I'm not calling plays in this entirety. You go to Tampa, win a Super Bowl. That's all she wrote. Let's get to the third BS or no BS with BA. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, BA. Sam Darnold can and will lead the Seattle Seahawks to the Super Bowl. Is that BS or no BS?
I think that's no BS, brother.
Wow, baby.
I think right now Sam's figured it out. He's going to have to put a Superman cape on. They got that running game rolling. Showed up big last week against San Francisco. Just may be the facilitator, get the ball out to the right guys, make some big plays with his legs. And, he and JSN, man, that's a dangerous combination. But when they got that running game going with the defense they're playing right now, and then the 12 up there in Seattle, watch out, it's going to be tough.
Home field advantage is wild for Seattle to have. Congratulations to them and McDonald being able to turn it all around. And Darnold spinning it. Biggest game, biggest moment. Sam Darnold's throwing dots. Good for Darnold. Hopefully they're able to get it done there in Seattle. Obviously their fan base worthy of being showcased to the world throughout the entirety of playoffs. Now, there's a couple game balls we need to give out. You know, in actual NFL buildings, the Monday after games, there are game balls given out in the team meeting. The coach comes in, has these game balls ready. He and the equipment manager have worked together. You read off a list of accolades and you throw it. You know, sometimes back in the room, a little bit of a Spain big time catch, the energy, obviously fantastic. We want to do that this season with BA. He's done it every single week. That obviously will not change this week. Go ahead with your game balls, BA. Who should be celebrating a huge end of NFL season?
Yeah, NFC, a lot of guys didn't play last week, but Matthew Stafford, again, put it up, big numbers, 3 touchdowns, had a hell of a ball game, leading them to a big win. And then in the AFC, it was a little bit harder because he only had 1 tackle, but Myles Garrett for breaking the sack record. His stat line was 1 tackle, 1 sack. That's hard to pay $150 million to a guy for 1 tackle, but 22 and 23 sacks might get it.
Hell yeah.
A lot of money.
Stop the game.
A lot of money. You know, he said,
right.
as long as upstairs has the same mentality about winning as me, I'm good, I'm happy. You know, because last year, whenever his contract was in discussions, he put out a whole letter. High five to the ref there. It's hilarious, by the way. He put out an entire message about how it's not just about being a good player. I want to win games, man. I would like to win. And seemingly took a shot at Andrew Berry with the way he described getting to Canton and Hall of Fame, almost as if that was a goal for the Browns as opposed to winning football games. Then he gets $40 million a year. That seemingly changes. I'm going to be a part of the change that's going to happen here. Then they go on to not win again. It's like, how long does this last? Is Myles Garrett going to continue to be a pillar and a sensation while they continue to lose like Joe Thomas spent his entire career? Obviously, nobody wants to do that. The Browns are fascinating, B.A. Obviously, you're up there as a coach. It feels like they have been just cursed. Like they are just going to stink. Doesn't it feel like that with Cleveland? I don't like it. I like the people of Cleveland, but it feels like that with the Brownies.
Yeah, they had the great fans, man. I was with the Colts, and we went up there like week 16. It was snowing like crazy. I said, Peyton, you don't have to worry about silent count today. We're in the lock. We came out there's an ass in every seat. It was crazy. We had to kick a field goal on the last play of the game to win, and then going there and coaching for 3 years. They had great fans, man, and they deserve more. It's a shame, but that they can't put the product on the field. It's just been the quarterback issue for years and years. And, why they ever get up on Baker, I don't know.
Yeah, that was wild. Yeah. Beat the Steelers in a playoff game.
Pretty big.
Without Stefanski on the sideline. He had COVID.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are who the Cleveland Browns beat in the playoffs. Get this guy, though. Get him out of here. All these commercials. I'm about sick of him doing it, Dougie. Mm-hmm. Let's get him out of here. Now he's down there in Tampa trying to win the NFC South. Got a nice house down there.
He does have a nice house.
He's got a nice house down there. I seen that as a through the Instagram story there of his family as he followed along with that NFC South. You think Tampa's going to be okay?
Yeah, I think so. I think there have been a lot of injuries this year, and some things didn't go right in a couple of different spots. But Todd's going to right the ship, and Jason Light's going to get another great draft, and they'll reload. They don't have to rebuild.
All right, I guess we'll just believe it because you're down there. You're close to the situation. You're the man. Mm-hmm. We appreciate the hell out of you, Coach.
You got it, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Coach B.
Yay.
The Tampa Bay fans were calling pretty loudly for a new coach down there.
Yeah, big time. Real loud. Big time.
BA's in the building, as consultant. I think Todd and Jason will get it done. It's like, all right, that sounds like that's what's going to be happening, right?
That division, it feels like any year you could argue that any of the teams is by far the favorite to win it.
But what I'm saying is they're not making any changes.
No.
That's what it sounds like right
there. Yeah. I mean, Shefty kind of said that yesterday too, but, things could change.
Shefty living in his fears in this moment is certainly wild. Him getting a whole new narrative or perspective in a city, an entire city, just from one text message from, hey, actually snooping around. Cliff Kingsbury? Yeah, parting of ways. He's gone from Washington. Add Cliff Kingsbury's name potentially to a list of head coaching things. Well, did he get fired or did he leave? Well, him and Dan Quinn talked about the future, and they decided to part ways. I guess they disagreed. So now he'll pursue other opportunities. It's like, is he still getting paid by the Commanders and by the Cardinals? And then is he potentially going to be a head coach now all of a sudden? Because obviously what he was able to do with Jaden last year is certainly going to be a conversation that is going to be brought up during the whole interview process here with a lot of head coaching vacancies and not a lot of head coaching candidates. It's like, so did Dan Quinn tell Cliff, yeah, go be a head coach somewhere else? I don't like what you're thinking. Or did Cliff tell him, hey, I'm going to need more money because I'm going to go be a head coach? Or did they actually talk ball and Dan was like, I'm done with it? And then defense coordinator comes in, Dan's done with it. Yeah. I don't want anything. We need to not have whatever happened this year happen again. Fascinating development.
Can you put that tweet up? I'm sorry. Can you read it? Like how that tweet is worded? Like he met with Cliff today to discuss the future of the offense after those conversations. So heading into those conversations, what was the thought? That's what I want to know. Like, what did you plan on into this meeting? Were you thinking like, hey, we're probably going to part ways, or were you thinking everything's all good? And then after you talked, you said, see ya.
Yeah. It was Dan Quinn like he's going to have to earn it in here. And then he didn't earn it. And then they decided to move on. Maybe Dan Quinn wanted a different direction. And Cliff's like, I'm not going to do that if that's what you want to do. Because Coach Tomlin multiple times moved on from offense coordinators because he wanted a different style of football to be played. Yeah. And I think multiple times, he's not the only one. There's been other teams that have done this where the head coach would like a different style of football to be played. You can either do it that way or we'll find somebody to do that. Maybe that's what took place here. I'm not sure. But I think Cliff Kingsbury's name, I'm like, Oh, people are going to want him to be a head coach for sure because of what BA literally just said. If you're an offensive guru, you're certainly going to get an interview and a sit down. He's handsome. He speaks well. He has Jaden Daniels, who has one of the greatest rookie seasons of all time.
Yes.
Now on his record that he can certainly sell. A lot of jobs open. It feels like Cliff might be a head coach next year.
It's crazy how shit changed so fast in the NFL, and I'm thinking what you're thinking as far as philosophy-wise on the offensive side of the ball. Hey, Cliff, maybe we should do more of this, and Cliff is kind of like, hey, this is how I do it. And coming off of that NFC championship run with a rookie quarterback, like that was crazy. They ran a ton of hurry-up, were super aggressive, went for it on fourth down a ton. I know Jayden got hurt a bunch with his running and his elusiveness, but that's a part of what makes him great. I don't know if this will be the right time for Cliff to hit the market as far as being a head coach with all the hot names that are out there on both.
Are there hot names?
Yeah, on both sides of the ball. The defensive guys, and we looking at the landscape of who's out there right now. Kubiak could be a name with that's out there leading Sam. But outside of that, I mean, Josh McDaniels, he's not going anywhere. Like the top offensive guys, like who are like the top
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like right now,
six jobs. Yeah, we got 6 jobs available. Like
and then who knows if another one opens up after this weekend from whatever outcome. It's like, how many offensive names are out there? This might be the time for Cliff Kingsbury to get back in the game because last year, to your point about the NFC Championship run, people were like, hey, Cliff's going to get back into head coaching. Yeah, I actually did it. I'm getting paid. I like Jaden. I like working with Jaden, actually. I like what Dan Quinn's doing here. Let's go ahead and stick it around, give it another run. And then if he doesn't get hired, this might be the old story of like, hey, when you're hot, these opportunities aren't going to come forever. But it feels like he's going to get a lot of interviews.
Yeah, definitely, especially with what you said. Like, look at those teams at the top, like the Raiders, for instance. They're about to draft a young rookie quarterback, and he's had a ton of success, Cliff, with young quarterbacks. Like, you can even go back to Kyler. Like, they kind of built Kyler up a little bit. They went to the playoffs, and granted, you see how that ended up with Arizona, but there, Tennessee, the offensive guys are kind of older. You wonder if Stefanski wants to take a year off. You could definitely see that after living in Cleveland for that long. And then Big Mike, older guy. A lot of these teams do want those younger kind of, quarterback guru, offensive guru types. And I think Cliff would definitely fall into that category. Even Cleveland. Like, you think Cleveland would give Cliff Kingsbury a look because they have multiple young quarterbacks. And
does Cliff want to go to Cleveland? That'll be a whole nother.
Absolutely not.
I doubt it.
There.
What's that?
Cliff Kingsbury is not going to Cleveland. I can tell you that much. If he
gets
gets another crack at a head coaching job, he will not be going to Cleveland. I believe he was a Pat's backup for a while, so I wonder.
He played with Tom.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of relationship he has with Brady. Because if you remember, it was a couple years ago. Remember, it was like a done deal that he was going to go to Las Vegas to be their OC, and then they fudged something with they didn't want to give him an extra year that he wanted or something like that. So that's a different regime. So who knows there? But if you're Cliff, if you went to Vegas, I would think you would maybe more so want to go as maybe the OC. You go gangbusters with a guy like Mendoza, and then boom, after that, hey, I'm the hottest ticket in town. Yeah, and to Debo's point about the defense, though, right now I believe Brian Flores is the quote-unquote favorites to land in Vegas. I think Flory reported over the weekend that the idea in Vegas right now would be a full-blown New England Patriots Brady reunion with B-Flow being the head coach, Brian Daboll being the OC, and then Daboll being another guy who's good with young rookie quarterbacks.
Daboll with a stove out there in Vegas.
Yeah.
He's going to have pinstripe suits.
Yeah. Mark Davis.
Oh, my God. That'd be awesome out there. Yeah, just in my head, all of a sudden, Cliff has a real shot at getting a head coaching job.
The offensive guys would be Clint Kubiak, Seattle OC, Cliff, Stefanski, Big Mike,
Joe Brady,
Matt Nagy.
We'll see.
Yeah, TBD.
I think I'm probably leaving a couple out, but
to your point though, what if defensive guys win the day? Now BA said that's BS, baby, and we in previous BS or no BS with BA, we asked him if a defense is going to be the thing that wins the title this year, and he goes, that's BS, baby. Need a quarterback. So he's always going to think offensively. I think that is what BA does. But with how great all these defenses are, and if D'Amico's Houston Texans are able to go on a run strictly because of their dominance, McDonald's with their Seattle Seahawks strictly because of the dominance of the defense, it's like owners are very much monkey see, monkey do. I mean, they are.
Philadelphia. They have
league.
one of the best defenses last year. Obviously, Saquon had an unbelievable year, but they've kind of been a rotating cast at that offensive coordinator spot. But their defense, especially since Vic has come over there, has been great. But I think, I'm on board with what BA is saying because we know how important it is with developing quarterbacks. We've seen what Liam has done with Trevor. We've seen what Ben has done with Caleb. So, yeah, I can definitely see the monkey see, monkey do part of that. But, I mean, you have to look at it. Every organization has to look at, hey, how do you want to build this team? Which guy can really come in here and lead this franchise, whether it's a Vrabel or Dan Campbell or Sirianni or D'Amico Ryans, whoever that guy is that you think is Robert Saleh from 49ers, whoever that guy that you have the most faith to stand in front of the room and lead you to kind of that next chapter, that's where you go, whether it's offensive, defensive, or like a special teams guy.
I like that that's being considered seemingly more by everybody. Like, hey, you need an actual, like, coach. Like you need like a leader in there, not just a play caller, a play because there for a while after McVay, who actual leader, by the way. McVay, I'm not saying that he's not an actual leader. Sean McVay, great leader, great speaker, feels like everybody respects the hell out of him, has made tough decisions, has had hard conversations. He's not just a play designer and play caller, but I think a lot of people are like, well, everybody could do that if they got the good place. And you got the good place. Why don't you come on in here? It's like leading a team and having like an alpha trait that you have to have while also having empathy and being able to relatable while your resume has to be able to hit. That's all a part of being a great coach. And I think a lot of that got forgotten about whenever there was a hiring cycle or 2 or 3 after Sean McVay had success where it was like, who could call best play? Fans like offense? We're going to give it to him. We're bringing in a super genius. It's like, well, what about like leading a team though? Like that is certainly a conversation that was kind of lost. And then MCDC gets a gig.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden Vrabel starts gnawing on glass basically up there. And then you start seeing Sirianni. His little entire thing is his leadership style. Different than everybody else. Seems like he's got the boys rallied behind him. It's like, wait a minute, maybe you do need somebody that can lead an organization at the head coaching job while also being able to do the football side of it.
Yeah, Zach Taylor. I don't know if we consider him in that, entire.
We do, yeah.
Yeah, okay, we do. KOC really was the one that flipped that for McVay. Like KOC went in former player after his entire Rams stint, and he made the Vikings what it is, and then he had to make a bunch of tough decisions with Kirk and some other guys. And Brandon Staley, I think, comes to mind for me as far as like, oh yeah, that was a bunch of shit when it came to McVay's entire coaching tree. But there isn't a Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn. Like at all, not even remotely close this year like there was last year. Like last year going into this entire week, it was like, who's going to get the bell of the ball? The 2 bells of the ball, really, because Aaron Glenn was considered the number 1, defensive guy, and Ben Johnson was the number 1 offensive guy, but it worked. And now this year, there isn't that. So Cliff Kingsbury's kind of stepping into that, hey, don't forget to, like, look
Also,
at me.
second time.
Yeah, second time. Yeah,
how much he learns.
What's he learned?
What we watched at Arizona since he's been. They've already fired another coach.
Yeah,
and they already got some. That whole situation. They might be the Cleveland of the West, and I don't like that.
Did you see the stat?
Huh?
The entire history of the Arizona Cardinals. I think it's like 100 years.
Yeah,
They've never had a coach be there for more than 6 years.
Yeah, there was another stat that came out about the Cardinals that was just so horrendous.
Denny Green,
quarterback win.
They can win like 17. They can go 17-0 for like 10 straight years, and their entire franchise's win percentage would still be under 500. That's the one that's coming to my mind.
That was one of the stats. There was like most double-digit losses in the history or something like that. It was way the graph was just like way this way, and then there's every other team, and it's like, have we not talked about how the Cardinals have been absolute shite, and how their fans in that city.
That's why.
It's a beautiful city.
That's why we don't talk about it, because the city is so freaking awesome.
And the people are like, that city is awesome.
That might UCLA in college football.
Go ahead,
beautiful
brother.
place, unbelievable campus, unbelievable spot. Like they should absolutely be able to win, and they just don't for some reason.
Phoenix, after Indianapolis, Indiana, obviously, might be best city in the United States of America. Like
Nashville.
After India.
Oh, Nashville.
Miami.
They stink too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe that's why. City's too nice. Football team.
Just like we talk about with Miami.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, all three. All three of those places. Miami.
Too much going on.
City's too good. City's too good. Can't focus on ball. How could you? Fucking Phoenix.
Yeah, all these
That's
golf
what they
courses
say.
out here.
Oh, weather.
Mountains.
With a view. Oh, there's a 5-star restaurant. Here's a 5-star restaurant. There's a 5-star restaurant. Relatively affordable. And also anything you want to do, a good time is here.
Yeah. I don't want to go practice there.
Oh, I'm going to be late. I'm going to drive 150 miles an hour.
Bingo.
That happens.
Yes, it did.
Because they're living life too much out there.
You're not Tyreek Hill.
Maybe Phoenix being too awesome is the problem.
But that's also why you think they would be able to attract like a top line head coach, a bunch of good players in free agency, because it is awesome out there.
What's Miami doing? What's playing down there? What do you guys got cooking down there in the Dolphin?
Nobody really knows by the sounds of things. McDaniel said he was helping in the GM search, and Barry Jackson reported that McDaniel actually isn't safe. So I think once we get the GM will make the decision on what the hell's happening.
Who's the GM potential possibility? Who's the name we know?
John Eric Sullivan of the Packers, I believe, is having an interview today. I think they're interviewing maybe like 6 people via Zoom today.
Okay, so from our understanding, we don't know a lot of people telling us things about front office people around the NFL. Would be open to it. Wouldn't mind getting more info on the people that we don't know about in the league, which would be cool. These people are kind of like under the guise of watching film and on the road behind the scenes to kind of build, a roster that's normally who's getting the general manager jobs. Are they leaders too? I think that's something you certainly have to look at. But allegedly, out of the Packers organization, this John Eric Sullivan guy is a guy. AJ, you know him, I think, from your time in Green Bay?
He's been there a long time. He's a dude. I think if I didn't believe that, I just wouldn't say much about him. But I think he's absolutely a guy.
Yeah, but I think Green Bay has been creating a lot of these, like good leader, not just like find out evaluation.
They've watched it run, like Green Bay, whatever you want to say, like from the top down, like it's run the right way. They do things the right way, and so they've grown up in that system. They want to try to implement that somewhere else when you become a GM.
Schneider, Elliott Wolf, New England, over there at Seattle is obviously Schneider. They're littered literally throughout the rest of the league in high profile. He's going to be the next one, allegedly, even though they're interviewing other people.
AJ, I have a question because I'm trying to shape my mind how I feel about this. John Eric Sullivan. Do you have to call him John Eric Sullivan if you are a friend of his? Do you have to call him John Eric? Do we call him Jess? What's
Johnny?
Jay?
I don't know. I think you can call him whatever you want. I don't know what he prefers to go by right now.
Sully's available.
Sully would be cool.
After the plane crash, I'd go Sully.
I just didn't know if he was a two-name guy or not.
Plane landing.
Yeah.
Beautiful plane landing on the belly of the plane in the Hudson.
That's right, belly of the beast up there.
Can't use Sully because he just signed that $560 million contract with the Chargers after their Monday Night Football game with Wazowski.
I forgot about that. Him and Wazowski really put on a show for us. Sully is a dog. Yes. So maybe they just call him Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny.
J.E.
Rick.
J.E. Wentworth.
J.E. Wentworth. Good jingle.
Yeah, that would be a good one for him.
That's a good jingle.
New GM.
Did you hear that Audie Crook song before you came on?
That is honestly, that's very good. That was you.
Come on.
It's really good. It's legit. I am a big fan as well. She is awesome to watch play basketball.
I already got people tweeting. What's the name of that song? Audie Crooks, brother. That's the name of that song. Maybe even brother at the end.
Yeah.
Shout out to AI. Shout out to Bars. Shout out to Melody. And shout out to Audie Crooks. Yeah. You're about to get cooked. That's Audie Crooks.
It's a good song.
UConn's in trouble, especially if that thing starts, it starts going.
Sure.
Okay, I don't like that. I don't like that. We wish them all the best. We love Audie Crooks, so we also appreciate the hell out of you. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Yeah, that came up out of nowhere. Let's take a break. And on the other side, obviously got to cover everything else happening in the sports world.
Yep.
D3, D2B, D2A. Obviously, figure out there.
I don't know what any of it's called either.
Me neither. I get attacked, though, for saying.
You guys are elitist.
There's no more 1AA, right?
Correct.
I guess there is 1AA. They call it FCS, but 1AA, D2. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Jeez. I didn't know the NJCAA and the NJCAA.
Well, we know it only remains.
Junior college.
Okay. I didn't know how that was going still. That's Coach Chef JB, I know.
Yeah.
That's right. Chef JB. Oh, so much meat.
Which one did he
Where's he get all that meat?
Feed to the dogs.
Steve
maybe.
Kim, Big Smitty, Dave Ports, all the cast of characters.
The food does look phenomenal.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
It takes his real time out there.
Yeah.
This boat looks phenomenal.
It's a yacht.
It's a yacht.
It's a yacht.
My bad. That's
Have some respect.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
You're right, one segment.
Right.
Let's get out of here. We'll be back on the other side. We appreciate you all so much. Happy New Year. We're thankful to be here. Let's wrap up all the sports talk on the other side. Be your friend. Tell a friend something nice might change your life. Take 5. Ladies and gentlemen, in 3, 2, and...
This thing's been staring at me all damn day. Oh, hell yeah. $500,000, Tyler. To the channel.
You don't read those fucking books before the games, right? All those books.
Take the phone.
The first page.
Wow, holy shit. Braun read it.
That's it.
Biggest fans. Ty has a question for you, Tom.
Yeah, Tom, first and foremost.
Yeah, I know you, Ty. Thanks, man. Hey, Ty.
I
brother.
I love you, Tom.
Wow, Ty, good for you,
And-
Ty.
How about one last hoorah for the crowd?
You want me to do another one? I'll do another one. Hoorah!
This is awesome. Wait, my mom wants to say hello real quick.
I love your show. You guys are so funny.
Let me introduce to everybody. Big Mac, Roy Z, Doobie, Madge,
Hey, what up,
LT,
boys?
Little Kid Lano,
Hey, little kid.
Don Wilson.
Son of a bitch!
That's what it's about.
My wife always says I say sorry wrong, so.
Could you strike you out?
I think I can, yeah.
Heard you ran in a CD last night. Is that accurate?
Not falling for it.
Where's the best place to get some gator?
Yeah, I'm the best place to get gator.
Here it goes! Feet together! Feet together!
Peter is taking a dump.
Thank you very much.
Pimento cheese and ketchup.
Just like.
Oh, I
Start at the tip.
I don't think I fully under.
Oh, can I get some soup?
Yeah, these look amazing.
I don't think this is even cooked.
Notre Dame beats Pitt today, and that is this over.
Jonah!
Hello, beautiful people. It is our honor to introduce the legends that are going to be bombing balls this evening.
Welcome to Paris Island, South Carolina, where they make Marines. Howdy!
I just got a red, white, and boner.
I think I got a little freedom erection happening as well.
Got it by the head.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Dropped it. Fuck.
Are we doing a moment of silence?
They're doing national anthem for the Weenie 500. Oh, shit.
If I were an Oscar Mayer wiener.
For $1 million.
Look, Sydney. Holy shit, man. Of course.
I do have family members with Down syndrome, or as you guys would call it, Dahn syndrome. Fuck it. Easy.
So what we smoke?
What's a Pro Jam song that I would know?
Even flow.
Big Nirvana fan?
I am.
Favorite song?
Oh, wait, no. Okay, I just lied. Never mind.
Do we need to take this to a back alley or something?
You guys are out of your mind.
I believe what we are waiting on right now is for an American lad to walk out to a window and say, "It's me. I'm your next POPE."
I was told do not touch it. Boom. This thing is beautiful.
Guy's got to poop his pants. We're going to wrap this thing up.
Matthew Golden's there. He is. Go get him.
Matthew Golden, wide receiver of Texas.
Let's fucking go!
Bones! Fossils! Hit!
6 a.m. My 7-year-old daughter comes in to wake me up and says, "The skeleton's gone and the other one's broke on the front lawn." We're driving with kids.
Okay, Dano.
Dan,
Dan, can you pull over?
There's more coming.
Okay, we'll call you back. AJ Hawk has a question for you, Mr. President.
Yeah, Mr.
Okay, he's a great player. That's true.
I appreciate that.
Unfortunately, my youngest son puked all over himself and went to the hospital, so my whole family's not here anymore to hear that. He seems to be doing not much better. I used to go pick corn off the cob, go put it in the microwave, put some butter on it, and serve it to him, and then I'd eat some as well.
Got chewed out after that one.
Yeah, okay, I like that.
Bet you loved it.
Gnawing on that thing.
Yum, yum, yum.
All right, Chuck.
I'm going to do you, con man.
What?
Just quick shout out. Constance.
Connie?
Sis lost her house.
Oh, no.
She lives in the Palisades. 40 years there.
Good shout out.
Now it is official. He'll be back coaching with the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
Please have me on, every now and then.
No.
Mike McCarthy's going to become a coaching free agent.
I'm getting tired of getting corrected up here. I tell you what, this is bullshit. God damn.
Hey, Jay, you did a great job today. I thought you'd give me some more questions.
Thank you, Coach.
Mathematics is the language of the universe.
Galileo, let me go.
First and foremost, if you can feel it,
Chase it.
hell yeah.
Congratulations!
Fuck yeah!
Your kid okay on the beach or what?
I hope so. Who knows? Not me.
Let me wreck a rim. Oh!
Not trying to advertise anything. Just
No, of course not. It doesn't look like it at all.
No, we're still live, Coach. We're still live. He was like, get me the fuck out of here.
John Cena, you can't see me.
If I could just use a couple seconds of valuable airtime and say like, yo, at least get the closure you need. I'm good with it. I'll be fine, but I ain't coming back.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hulk Hogan!
There it is. A lot of people out there who maybe, were pissing on the Hulkster when he passed away. But, lo and behold, you see the Angels wings, you see the halo. Turns out St. Peter is one of the biggest Hulkamaniacs. Shut up, fat ass! I'm looking at you, pal! Yeah, you! There's so many fast food restaurants.
Is this a German accent?
Do you want to just shut the fuck up?
I'm gonna cut you off right there, Dano. You can tongue my beanbag.
This is my true self, and if you don't like it, you can go fuck yourself.
If we hit a baseball, who do you think would hit the baseball the best?
Probably Ty or Tone.
Tone, I love
fuck
it.
you, Kirk.
All right.
Spike Lee is here. Ben Stiller is here. Timothy Chalamet is here. Let's send these sons of bitches back to New York with their ears. Bring it.
You trying to think you were going to bury me? I don't think so, John. Hey, Coog, suck it, buddy. Thank you, Mickey Mouse. Yeah.
We got 2 words for y'all.
Yeah, you waiting. Yeah, you waiting for Duque.
When I'm dead and gone, they will say that I was a loyal motherfucker. If I die, I die. You got a problem with Cole, you got a problem with me, Gunther.
McAfee again with a super kick.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year. Hey.
See you next year,
All
Coach.
right, we love you. Here's Jim on our show, doing his thing, showing the world exactly who he is, which is a compassionate, brilliant, wealthy legend. Rest easy, Jim. I fucking love you.
What a lot of people don't realize is from here to the moon is 208,000 miles roughly. You think about that, and that's far, but like Mars, think about this, is 250 million miles. 250 million miles. So, that's a little different thing because when you go, it takes about anywhere from 9 to 11 months to get there, depending on the alignment.
Are you going to fucking Mars?
And so,
Jim, are you going to Mars? It sounds like you're...
I wish I was. I think you have a chance to do a show from there when you're 80.
I'm all the way in Eugene, smoking on some new green, changing up the routine, gratitude truly, feel like new school dean, life's pretty cool, G3 jobs, fuel means tank top, blue jeans, never change, crew needs, deep shots, view screens, movie star, 2 scenes, bank account juicy, canceled who me, boogeyman spooky, folks watch who sees, hating folks dookie, yeah you waiting. Yeah, you waiting for Duque. Yeah, you waiting for Duque. Yeah, I'm up here in Eugene, smoking on some new green, checking out some new scenes. And you waiting for Duque.
You know what? I think there's only one thing left to do here. I've experienced cafecito time. I've experienced the wonderful culture. I've experienced the beautiful people, and I think we got some Canes over here. We got some Canes over here. We got some Canes over here. This day in Coral Gables is going to be one that I will legendary run here at Miami. The legends of football run deep. The moments are special. The national championships are in abundance. Just last year, a lovely University of Miami woman diver from Italy won a national championship. This thing's been staring at me all damn day.
You're out of your mind, brother. You're crazy.
Kirk, I'm a little winded.
That's what I was going to say. You talked the whole time you were running. I'm giving you a chance to catch your breath, you son of a bitch. You're crazy.
I hope somebody got a lifesaver over there.
These are a lot of hours.
Something. My man's out of breath.
It is a long way to the top.
Are you going to jump in your suit? Are you going to jump in that
Oh, my
suit?
God.
Yeah, so
I'm tired for you.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to take the jacket off. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, he's taking the shirt off now.
Okay. All right.
Looking ripped.
Yeah,
looking
looking
ripped.
fit.
Oh, he's taking the drawers off.
ladies and gentlemen,
The pants.
Not the drawers.
ladies and gentlemen, if you come to this beautiful campus, you will notice quickly that the students here love this university. They love this atmosphere. And I'm with everybody. I think the U is back. Give me.
He's got the speed on. Oh, my God.
Give me the.
Canes, baby.
Here it goes.
Oh, God.
Here it goes. Feet together. Feet together.
I think that was the lead so for the pencil.
Harry's got the youth. Rushing it out.
Oh, my God.
McAfee with the refreshing plunge. Miami and Florida tonight. Let's have a look at that again. Check out the form, Herbie. Oh, man.
Let's see the toes.
We need just to
Hey, good, pretty good.
Legs together, right? Perfect.
Perfection. Wicked and all.
But it is great to be down here in T-Town, Alabama. Now, let's do a little history here, shall we? This is, what's your name?
Gabby.
Gabby, you're a senior here, right?
That's correct.
And what is your major?
Chemical engineering.
Okay. Okay, have you ever kicked anything before?
No.
Okay, but you said you want to do it, not get somebody else because...
Yes, because I camped out for so many hours with my friend, and I got lucky enough to get picked, so let's go for it.
Yes!
Yeah!
Yes!
All right!
We love that, Gabby.
Let's
$300,000 if you make this kick right here, Gabby, okay?
Oh my gosh.
That seems fair.
I don't know what a chemical engineering degree costs, but hopefully that'll help towards it all.
My parents would love that.
Okay.
I'll throw in 200 as well.
He's on it to $500,000. All right, Gabby.
Okay.
Good luck. We're pulling for you. 33 yards. All you got to do is make the kick. Good luck, Gabby.
Okay. Thank you. Any
final thoughts?
I love you, Mom and Dad and brother.
Love that, Mom and Dad. Hope you have a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, Gabby Mathis, chemical engineer, senior here at Alabama, will attempt to win $500,000.
Oh! It's come to this, huh? It's come to this. It's come to this.
Yeah, why'd you smack me in the face? Kirk just smacked me in the face. How about this? How about this, Gabby? If Kirk Herbstreit can throw that football through those uprights right there, we'll give you $300,000. Are you okay with that? $300,000. If Kirk Herbstreit can throw it through those uprights, former Ohio State quarterback.
Oh, boy.
No warm-up, full suit for Gabby. Get Gabby, get Gabby, get Gabby. Congratulations, Gabby. All right. It's getting even more pricey. Kirk Herbstreit, I did not know you had that in you. You son of a bitch!
Oh, that's great.
Gabby, it's for you, your mom, your brother, the whole family. Congratulations, and Kirk. Good on you, man. It was close. Back to you, Reese. Jeez. Way to go, Gabby.
I want a moment. You know, I love the fact that Gabby wanted the experience. You know, blue-eyed Buckeye still got a little sing in that arm of his.
You don't want to play your best basketball in January. You don't want to be a monster in January. You want to be a monster in March.
And you ain't, Oh, you're about to get cooked by all these crooks. Walking, talking, bucket has you shook. That's how they crooks. Oh, you're about to get cooked by all these crooks. Walking, talking, bucket has you shook. That's how they crooks.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. You pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this AJ Hawk birthday, January 6, 2026, hour 3 of the program begins right now.
Football!
Hey, it's magical. AJ, happy birthday, buddy. Hey, don't want to have to do this again, but there might be some new people here, so happy birthday to you. All right, AJ. That would have been awesome if we would have did that. That would have been great. You know what? Maybe we should, right? It only happens once a year.
I think so.
Once a year.
You're right.
My connection's kind of choppy right now.
Birthday to you.
He's going to hang up.
Happy birthday.
I can't hear.
Oh, we got to be louder. Happy birthday, dear AJ. Happy birthday to you.
Hell yeah.
Happy birthday, AJ.
Thank you. Yeah, it was like Shefty yesterday. My audio cut out. I didn't really hear it.
Oh, you didn't hear? Can you hear us now?
No.
You can't hear us right now?
I was reading your lips, so yeah, still doing it. Here we go. Okay.
Okay, can you do that the whole?
Stop. You're not doing it again.
Can you believe it's
Can
been
you hear us right now or no? Can I seriously?
Yeah, I just came back.
Okay. Happy birthday to you.
I appreciate it.
Can you believe it's been 5 years since his party at the Capitol?
It's crazy you did that, Age.
You know, a lot of people do mention that to me. A lot of people do.
Isn't it weird your birthday is the same day as what was happening over there in Washington?
Just happened to not be on the program.
Here's AJ Hawk highlights, by the way. If you don't know this, the guy that shows up on the screen every single day from Manhattan, Ohio, was an absolute monster on a football field. I mean, no questions asked. All-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers at Centerville High School over there in Ohio, outside Dayton. Shout out to all the Elks out there. Obviously, legends across the board. AJ once had like 30 tackles in a game while also rushing for 250 yards and punting 6 times for an average of 50 yards. You're talking about the Ohio boy of Ohio boys. He has a tree named after him on the Ohio State University's campus because he was once the president of Ohio, voted by his constituents. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are certainly going to celebrate one of the greatest football guys, one of the greatest Ohio guys, and good friend of the program, who's not only good on a football field and on this particular show and in day-to-day life where he's living in the moment, like right now, and right now and right now.
Yep.
He's also an incredible mixed martial artist. People forget
Oh,
that at
this
one
I
time
wanted to see this.
he was
Yes.
potentially going to take down John Bones Jones, but instead he stayed focused on football. And obviously we thank him for that in the football world. In the UFC and the MMA world, you missed out on this. Hey, you missed out on this. AJ, happy birthday, buddy. We love you.
Thank you. That clip's amazing.
It is. It showcases what could have been.
What about what we found out this weekend?
What's that?
His senior year, he tore his PCL, ACL, and MCL. Was out for 4 weeks, and then came back and played quarterback the rest of the year because quarterback got hurt, led him to a state championship.
And he said, I wasn't. Yeah. That's real.
He took a lot of liberties with that story, but yeah, I guess like one piece of that. I tore my PCL my first game my senior year.
Okay, not your ACL?
No, because ACL I wouldn't be able to come back. I tore my PCL, got scoped, cleaned out the cartilage, rehab. Had to come back the last 4 weeks wearing a Dahn joy. That was awful. Been playing quarterback. Quarterback's a tough position. I'm not gonna lie. Even in high school, it's tough making those reads. I was tucking it and running a lot.
Did you guys win?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. We didn't go to the state finals or anything like that. No.
So your high school quarterback obviously needs to get added into this entire thing. Were you playing linebacker as well? Clearly, obviously.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was like, so I played linebacker, running back, and I was always like a backup quarterback in case they needed me, and then they needed me when I came back because a guy got hurt.
So you're playing full-time linebacker and full-time quarterback in Ohio high school football?
For a couple weeks.
God, that had to be legendary. They tell stories about this guy.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
When I ran into, who'd we run into? We ran into somebody who was at another place in Ohio, another high school at the same time. Instead, he used to go watch Centerville high school football games to watch A.J. Hawk, this absolute maniac on the football field. This guy has been like the Ohio boy through it all. And A.J., happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, Honko.
Thank you.
And don't you worry, Ohio. He's spawning others.
That's right.
He's spawning others over there in the great state of Ohio. We appreciate that. And what a great week for it to happen. Maybe the greatest
What
week
a great
of ball.
football week, huh? I know.
Legit, AJ.
Yeah.
The semifinals, super wild card, super wild card, super wild card. This is it, AJ. We made it here.
Yeah, we did. I think, Ty, didn't you say this is like the greatest football week/weekend of the year?
Yes.
I would say you are most likely spot on there.
Yeah, especially because Thursday we start with college football.
Can't beat
And
it.
it's not just a potential nothing college football midweek game.
No.
It's college football playoff semifinals.
The game.
This is here we are. These are the best four. And then Friday it backs it up. And then we got two obviously very good games. Sunday, 3 very good games. Monday, 1. And we don't have to be distracted watching 8 different screens. You see Scott Hansen get emotional when he said goodbye.
Yeah,
he did.
Had to.
Yeah, he
Can't
said,
blame him.
no more octo boxes till next year. I'll see you guys in September, he said.
Crazy.
So what's he do till then?
Unplugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
What
in the
does he
corner.
do? Does he pop up in the offseason at all?
And then come what? The first or the last week of August, first week of September.
What
next
does
year?
he do?
That's the unplugged.
Yeah.
Let's see it. What happened?
He goes, they unplug
You want me to
him.
unplug
With the
it?
football? He always
Hold
has
on, I'll
football.
plug it from the back. All right, we're good.
Months.
And then September, what happens?
September, they walk in. They actually have to get a duster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, NFL fans. Welcome back to week 1 of the NFL Red Zone. And then he does his whole fucking spiel, and it's like he never left.
Yeah.
But he has been unplugged, basically collecting dust for the last 6 months.
You forgot after they first plug him in, before he does that, he has to pee and poop, of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
Two-way.
Well, actually, maybe he doesn't.
No, 'cause that's why he doesn't. Yeah.
To a large extent, I thought he builds up
He
like a
changed his
South Park
style of
poop.
play. He changed his style of play this year. New contract for Scott Hansen.
Yep.
He changed his style of play. He's basically like the NFL's point guard, just kind of passing into games, coming back, getting the ball. Boom. He was a little bit more.
Getting a couple more shots up.
I'm gonna dribble into your area, and then I'm gonna dribble back. And then I'm gonna take it up. And then we're gonna run again, and then maybe I'll go see. And I'm going to take it back like this, okay? And then every once in a while, something big's going, let me go ahead and kick it out to the corner. Let me go ahead and do that. Every once in a while, he'd send it to a booth that was complete shite. And we'd be like, come on, Scott.
Yeah.
You didn't pass the ball for the last 10 minutes. We don't need these people to be the next ones talking in that entirety. He changed his style of play a little bit this year. I think we all noticed it, right, with Red Zone?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did anyone end up boycotting because of the commercials?
Oh, ton, dude.
There's a lot more commercials as the year went on.
Ratings were down for Red Zone, I think, like 98% or something like that.
Oh, wow. He heard about something else that had that percentage before we went live. That is not real. But I did take it on the shins going into the NFL season because I was an NFL Red Zone shill because I said 1 minute out of 7 hours was going to be, who cares? We're still going to watch this thing. And I'll tell you what, there was a couple times where Scott was about to get to a really good point, and all of a sudden, boom, somebody pops in for a 35-second ad. And I'm like, what was he going to say?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Still watching it on your side.
You still see it.
You'll never know.
Yeah, fucking Mercedes looked nice, though, didn't it?
Oh, my God. You kidding me?
They got good commercials.
They do.
They do, actually.
Good bow tie.
Great bows.
John Hamm voicing them over.
Oh, he's making quite a comeback for that.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Coop has to
Good
lead
meme.
league in NFL.
Commercials.
The Uber one really went all in with him.
Yeah.
Uber went all in with him. And they should, by the way.
Yeah, Coop nails it.
Good
He's
commercial.
actually a fan.
Knows ball, studies
it works.
ball, watches ball, lives ball. I can't believe he said that thing in that thing.
Yeah.
That was crazy he said that.
I know, but it was spot on.
What was that thing, though? What was the GQ? It was a...
Oh, yeah, the GQ thing with him and Will Arnett.
Will Arnett. Is this thing on? Available now? Please go watch. It's incredible. Good for Coop. I believe he wrote, directed, shot, edited the entire thing.
Whole nine.
We are massive fans of Coop, obviously, and his big-ass brain. Him in that conversation, though, saying... I mean, retelling a very real story, because when we found out we had his number, it was a very... All right, boys, we're doing a cold FaceTime here, which is move that happens in the Thunderdome whenever we get somebody that we think should not know of our existence.
Not much outside of the Thunderdome. You'd have to like, not many people outside of the Thunderdome are doing the cold FaceTime for the first time you ever reach out to them.
Certainly not to someone like Bradley Cooper.
I didn't even think about that. It just feels like the right move, doesn't it? We get
It is. It's your move. It's what you do. It's great.
And it's crazy when people answer, because then it actually, holy shit, we don't have to call the Catfish Show. It's actually this person. That is a crazy thing. And as soon as Coop answered that, we went immediately into, me something, girl. We're all jacked up. And the fact that he remembers that moment is so cool for us. And the fact that he says it publicly, crazy.
That's Coop, baby.
It's a great story.
Here it is, actually, from GQ's social media. I believe this is for, is this thing on, what's that called?
Yeah, press junket.
That's sweet.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Let's go back to the beginning, I think, of the movie.
That's the end of it.
Will Arnett brought you up.
McAfee.
I just
Oh,
met
he
him.
just texted him back. He met him, all this stuff, but he was just
I was at Chris Henschey's house in the morning having coffee because we would always do that in the morning, and then I see on my phone it says Pat McAfee calling. So I must have got his number.
Yeah.
And then it was a FaceTime, and then I open it, and he's with all his guys, and they started singing "Shallow," and then I looked like a little boy who just met Elvis.
That's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
Should've seen our side.
That is crazy. Yeah, exactly. That is insane that is the way he's talking about it. But that's because I think, and I don't want to speak for him here, I think he watches our show like every day. Like that's how much he loves ball. Like the guy is addicted to ball. So him getting commercials and being a part of it, we're a huge fan of that.
Yeah.
And we appreciate the hell out of him. And
Reigning
yeah,
champ.
we are biased.
Yeah.
He's he spoke the team onto the field.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Got a great promo.
Yeah. And it sat in the owner's box.
And then he made some decisions in the offseason. And then now they're back-to-back champs for the first time in 25 years for the NFC East or something like that. I don't know. You tell us.
I think the only back-to-back division champ this year. Pretty sure they're the only one who won their division 2 years in a row this year.
And nobody's happy with them.
Nope.
Are people giving them a chance to win it all?
No. What are we talking about?
It's wild that they're defending champs and people don't, it's like they're just, I don't know, flying under the radar. It's like people just don't believe in them or what?
All season, it's like that age. They're like waiting for him. It's not just like national people. It's like the Philly people, too, are just, this team sucks. Yeah, this team's exactly what we thought they are, but biggest stage, they got stars all over the place. Could certainly just dial it up. That's not really how people are talking, though, about this team at all, right? All year, Ty?
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, it's the same thing. But I don't know if it's just because people like it's when your team's defense is so much better than their offense. It's more often than not a tough watch because they're beating teams like 13-3 and 13-10. And yeah, their offense has kind of looked like shite, but their defense is so good. And the fact that we haven't really talked about them, like I feel like, if teams take them lightly in the playoffs, which they won't, but like Philly has just as good of a chance to come out of the NFC as any other team right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, unless you talk about Seattle, I mean, hey, they're the real deal.
They are.
This is unbelievable.
No BS, brother.
That's hey.
Well said.
Superman came. Did he say Sam
He
was going
did.
to put the
He
Superman
did.
cape on? That's huge.
I mean,
It's huge development.
they're so far away. Just, you know, they're like so far away. So it's hard to talk about them, which is not fair. Okay. We're going to tell you we're part of the problem. We probably didn't talk about them enough. Now, granted, you go over to Pittsburgh early in the year. We talked about it.
Yeah.
You have
Good
some-
football team.
It's a good football team.
Exactly what was said.
Now, what we didn't know at the time, that's a great football
team.
That is a great football
Played
team.
them real tough.
And I think they've kind of developed all year, only gotten better and better, and figured out different ways to win. Remember, he was just getting the ball every single play for a while.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, now Charbonnet's the guy, and now Will Hughes definitely have him going on. We got a couple tight ends getting loose, and then the defense is just going to be one or two in every statistic. And Mike McDonald, our head of coach, he's actually calling the defense as well as leading this entire thing. So we're going to have a tough mentality. Yeah, I don't think anybody really talks about Seattle enough in this entire.
At defense, we all know how great the defense is. JSN, how great he is as well. That Rashid Shaheed highlight, I feel like he's going to make, a couple splash plays here and there. Maybe it's a kick return, maybe it's reverse, just a 70-yard post where people are going to remember, oh, shit, they did get Rashid Shaheed at the trade deadline. But they put this team together greatly, and they got the right head coach. We'll see if they got the right quarterback on this run. It's a lot of pressure on Sam, but a lot of people believe in him.
I believe in them too. Look at these stats from Hembo here on playoff teams versus playoff teams. These are the people that made the dance. How'd you fare against them? Seattle Seahawks 6-2. Worst Steelers 1-5. Patriots 2-2. Only played 4 playoff teams, which is a part of the strength of schedule issue, which everybody's wondering about. Does this surprise you at all, though, Con Man? Seahawks at 1, Steelers the worst in the league.
Definitely a little bit with the Steelers, but also because of their division being kind of having a down year in general, them not playing as many playoff teams probably did not help them. The Jags being 5-3, I think, is what kind of stands out. We're talking about them being home underdogs. They won 13 games. They've beaten other playoff teams, and they're still kind of being disrespected. I'm not there yet with Seattle. I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't think they're legit at all. I don't think Sam Darnold can win a Super Bowl at all.
Whoa.
But I do think their defense can do it. That's why all the Rams.
D-But's gassing
No.
D-But was
I'm just listening.
No. I mean, Seattle's
like
a loud kind of internet fan base, so they will definitely let me hear it because of this. The Rams win. They go to Seattle. Who you taking? Because I know I'm not taking Darnold over Stafford.
That was a great game.
It just happened.
It was. It was a great game. And they had a punt return touchdown to basically win it. And that can happen again with Rashid Shaheed. And they had a 2-point conversion, which also helped them win it.
I'm not
which is
pointing down the
backwards.
Rams. I love the Rams.
Let's
not.
And I don't
crazy.
want to put down the Seahawks either.
Yeah,
It's
you
just
kinda did.
my beliefs are not in Sam Darnold. And unfortunately, them winning 13-3 against a team where Phillip Rivers scored 24 points doesn't make me think any higher of the Seattle Seahawks. But at the same time, I still believe in defenses winning championships. The last one that I saw from New England, it was 13-3. The last one from Philly, I mean, that defense dominated Patrick Mahomes. That defense won the championship. So it's still very possible for them to win a Super Bowl. It's just game on the line. I don't know.
Okay, let's move past that and let's go to defense. Ladies and gentlemen, it's award season. Isn't it, AJ?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Ladies and gentlemen,
what the hell?
Was that a real belief or kind of asking a question on whether or not it is?
We get it.
No, it was a real. I had my thing muted and I hit it at the last second and just wanted to make sure I got it across.
Oh, so you tried to just make sure we really understood where you're.
I was going to say what kind of award season. I was going to pose a question.
Oh, I like that.
There it is.
I like that. I did that to Ty earlier. I said, who is Ed Policy? In the middle of him giving an answer, just in case other people don't know who he is, that he's acting owner of the Green Bay Packers. So I like the thought of the potential alley-oop there from, hey, happy birthday.
Thank you. Just trying to figure the mechanics of TV out.
That was a good mic right there.
Yeah, great mic. And
he's the man. He's the man. I hope he gets hired.
I'm excited to see, what happens with him. I think he's very focused and excited for the opportunities to potentially get hired. And what a nice, refreshing feeling it would probably be leaving a place, getting a chance to get away, do life a little bit while observing football from a different perspective, and then diving back in and obviously know that this is it. So this is the final run at this entire thing. That has to be a great feeling for Coach Mike. We're obviously pulling for him. But it is award season. His season's over. So now we got to give awards. The AP did all their voting. All their ballots have been cast. Congratulations to AP Tone getting that done.
Hey,
That was a tough task. All task. Had to watch every single snap of every single player at every single position for every single title.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that. And the other 49 AP people like Dan Orlovsky and others, I hope you did the same as Tone, because us watching him take it seriously was actually awesome. Tone, we appreciate you doing that. But it's not just AP that are giving out awards. We got awards to give out too, AJ. You know that.
Yeah, I do. What are they?
Oh, that's a good question. How about the Everything DB, Darius J. Butler, All Everything DB team? Tough to make this team. I'll tell you what, I asked if we needed a first and second string. D-Butt said, nah, I don't want a full first and second string. It's going to be tough to make this team. Now, granted, there's a lot of DBs all around the league. We're appreciative of their services. These are the 5 that made your final 5?
Yeah, I go 1 through 5, and then there are 2 rookies that kind of get a rookie of the year. But yeah, it is tough to make the team. It's only 5 spots, and they're a lot of deserving guys. I think Dan O said it earlier. It's tough to even put an all-pro defense together and not put all the damn Texans on there. But we're going to start with a Texan. Second time making the All-Everything DB team. Derek Stingley Jr., one of the best cornerbacks in the league, if not the best cornerback in the league. The only cornerback in the league to have 4+ interceptions in 3 consecutive years. He was drafted number 3 overall and has lived up to the hype. Already got a new contract, becoming one of the highest paid cornerbacks in the league. And we know, we've been around the league for a long time. A lot of times when a player gets that money, gets that first big time life-changing check, it kind of take a year off or kind of have a year where it's kind of a dub. But no, he stepped up big and has been one of the cornerstones of the best defense in the National Football League. It was tough not to put his counterpart on the opposite side of him, Kamari Lassiter. I'm going to already say it right now. He's honorable mention. He should have been on there. But it's tough. It's tough. But speaking of the other corner on this list, I mean, we already showed all 5. We'll go Quinyon Mitchell, sophomore superstar.
Congratulations, Quinyon.
First rounder a couple years ago out of Toledo. A lot of guys didn't know this guy's name coming out of college, Maction, but he is one of the best press corners, and we know how much of a premium that is, especially in the playoff time. He will lock up with your number 1 receiver. He will travel from the left to the right. He will get in his face, and he will challenge him down in and down out. Once again, it was tough to pick these 2 top corners because there are other guys out there, Denzel Ward, Christian Gonzalez. There are other really good cornerbacks out there. But this guy right here has put together 2 back-to-back years. He almost made the team last year, just not a ton of ball production. And a lot of these press corners won't have a lot of ball production, but he has been unbelievable this year in that Vic Fangio defense where they play more man coverage. So I expect to see that more down the line in the playoffs as well. So congrats to Quinyon.
Congrats to the corners. Congrats to corners. Not easy to get on this particular graphic.
Absolutely not. And this spot is near and dear to my heart, the nickelback position where I kind of made my hay in the league. Cooper DeJean.
Wow!
Another sophomore superstar. He's breaking barriers, I'll say, on this team for sure. Unbelievable year once again. It took until week 12 this season for Coop to give up his first touchdown in the National Football League. He's become one of the best, if not the best, slot defenders in the league. He can tackle, he can blitz. He's a great pre-snap communicator, and his ball production is going up as well. We all remember the big-time interception, which was his only interception last season in the Super Bowl, which he took back for a touchdown. But he is a physical specimen out there. And once again, communication is key at that nickel position. He can line up. He played some outside corner this year because they needed him, but he's back where he's most comfortable in that slot, and he is an absolute dog. Another sophomore superstar up here with his teammate on this team. Honorable mention for this spot, Jalen Petrie, Marcus Jones. Also had great years in the slot.
Congratulations to them. Congratulations to an exciting white cracking the all-everything DB team. This is a huge day.
We needed this.
Hey, Coop, thank you. And Riley, too. I know they come up to you and think you're Coop. Congrats to you as well.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Both exciting whites.
I've been waiting for this day my whole life, arguably. And this is one of the happiest days of my life, I'd say.
Seahorn.
Yep. Eric Weddle.
Oh, Weddle was a monster.
Oh, we took safeties?
I didn't know.
Hitman.
Yeah, I guess, if we do
Hitman
that.
up there in Minnesota.
Yeah,
but if you're sticking corners, though?
Chuck Pagano.
Chuck Pagano.
Chucky P at Wyoming. He used to
Dustin Fox.
Riley Moss.
Yeah, corners, though. We just strictly.
I think Dustin Fox was corner, right, AJ?
Oh, yeah, corner with me at Ohio State, and then he got drafted by Minnesota. Yeah.
And we're just talking about random corners throughout the history
Yeah, we're just random super athletic corners.
Yeah.
Surprisingly super athletic.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Congrats,
Coop.
Coop.
boy.
Congrats, Coop. Now we move on to the safeties. We're going to go Kalen Bullock. He was the best free safety in the National Football League this year. Once again, this secondary, this defense can be all Texans, if I'm being honest. But he's going to get around the ball. He's a big-time hitter. He would show up in later wood as well. Once again, a great communicator. They don't do a ton defensively as far as scheme-wise. They don't try to trick you. This defense just lines up and do what they do. 4 defenders in that back end who have at least 4 interceptions. That's Kalen, that's Jalen Petrie, that's Kamari Lassiter, and that's Derek Stingley Jr. So they are ball hawks as well as getting after you and laying the wood. They do everything you want to do on the defensive side of the ball, and he was the best free safety in the National Football League this year. So shout out to Kalen Bullock on his first appearance and all everything.
Hell yeah, Kalen. 2 Eagles, 2 Texans, and then obviously stud that's been around for a long time.
Yep, back-to-back years now for Derwin James, and he could be a slot, he could be a linebacker, he could be a safety. He's Mr. Everything when it comes to the Los Angeles Chargers defense, another pillar on that back end. Also leads all defensive backs in pressures, and he was actually chipped on like 12% of his pressures, which you rarely see safeties getting chipped that much. But he's around the ball, around the line of scrimmage a ton, kind of similar to Kyle Hamilton. Obviously, he came before him, was one of the best players in college at Florida State, and has hit the league running a bunch of all-pros, a couple all-everything DB teams now. But he does everything. Had a little more ball production this year as well. Had 3 interceptions, but will get after you, will sack, will open you, and will tackle you in open field, and also a great communicator as well. That's all these guys talk their shit pre-snap. Now, Stingley is probably the quietest guy. He's just going to follow your best guy around, shadow, and make plays. But all these other guys, great actually, Quignon as well. He will lock your ass down and just get in your face. But those guys in the middle, and usually the guys in the middle of the defense, safeties, nickels, backers, they have to be the communicators, get other guys lined up, and also be kind of Swiss Army knives and do multiple things for their defenses. So shout out to all 5 of these guys on all everything DB team this year.
Congratulations, boys. Derwin, first ever back-to-back all-everything DB.
Him and Stingley.
Stingley was
yep.
on as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so congrats to both those guys. That's multiple years of dominance. Did I see a C was on Derwin James's chest there and nobody else? He would be the captain, you think, of this all-everything DB team?
Yeah, he's the OG of this group for sure. This is a pretty it's a young group, actually. So the league is in good hands. And I can't wait to see these guys on the biggest stage making big plays, on primetime games.
Speaking of young group, couple rookies of the year here. Now, to be something of the year, you would normally be just an individual.
Yep.
But this is co-rookies of the year. Couldn't just pick one. Too much good football.
It was tough. It was tough to pick just one. I'll start with Xavier Watt since their season is over in Atlanta, but he had an unbelievable season from wire to wire. Was a part of a very good defensive draft class, what I thought with the Falcons, the 2 edge rushers, Walker and Pierce Jr. And Xavier Watts was kind of the pick that went under the radar. I thought he should have been a higher pick based on what we saw him do at Notre Dame. He will come up and hit you. Once again, another guy that will communicate, and he plays like a vet. Like when you watch this guy, you just turn on the tape, you would think he was a 6-7 year vet out there with Jesse Bates. He will attack the football, led all rookies with 5 interceptions. He will lay the hat. He will make big-time plays. I can't wait to see this guy's career just ascend down there at Atlanta. He's going to be a good ball player for a long, long time. And then speaking of good ball players, Nick Emenwari, he was a first-round pick and just an absolute playmaker. Once again, just like Derwin James, same number. He's obviously NFC. You got Derwin in the AFC. He will line up all over the defense. He will blitz. He will tackle, and he will get after that football. He's a big. Awesome. I mean, when we when we think about LOB, and you think about Cam Chancellor, and he was kind of the tone setter of that defense. I will put Nick in that conversation. He's one of the tone setters of this defense. You have great players all around that defensive secondary. Yeah. We know Mike McDaniel, he's an absolute madman. They have a great front as well. I think their front is a little better than it was in the LOB days. So they've kind of been carrying this team. Best defense on third down. And Nick Emenwari and what he's able to do in coverage, what he's able to do in the run game, what he's able to do getting after the passer. He's a big reason why this is one of the best defenses in the National Football League as a rookie.
We highlighted him at the Combine and coming out of college. Hey, this is probably going to be a guy who does well at the Combine. He was 6'3", 220. He ran a 4.38. He jumped 43 inches for his vertical, and his broad was 11.6. So, yeah, he is just an athletic specimen who is also really, really good at football.
Congrats to the secondary.
Good job, boys.
And the All Everything DB team and honorable mentions. Didn't want to make a first team, second team.
No.
So we just do one.
Tough to crack.
Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, the trenchies.
Same trophy?
Oh, the reigning, who's it? Trenchy, Lane Johnson?
Yeah.
He's expected to practice tomorrow.
Oh, that's a huge deal for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Very huge.
I'll tell you what, biggest stage. This is like the thing we always talked about with the Chiefs. Whenever they're in the middle of their run of every single year, it's like Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, all the boys on that team. Like they're used to the big stage. Like not that they're mailing it in, but like
been there.
When it's time like to win or go home, lock in with the amount of skill that they have. It's like if they are to completely lock in, which turning on and off the light switch isn't necessarily always easy. Okay, that's why people work their dicks off every single day and prepare and yada yada yada, you name it. But with the way the Philadelphia Eagles are constructed, a lot of big time players, and normally in the biggest moments is when they play their best ball because they understand like the ramifications of everything, you know, in those moments. So I'm not saying that they mailed it in or didn't play their best ball. I'm just saying there's a chance. There's a chance that we have not seen anywhere near their best football yet.
What is the status of Jalen Carter? Because he had surgery on both his shoulders and he missed the last, little portion of the season. Is he 100% healthy? Are they still trying to figure that out? Do we know if he is also already back practicing?
They call him Baby Rhino or something?
Yeah, Baby
How do you
Rhino.
block
yeah.
that guy?
I don't know.
He just blocked. Didn't he just block a kick?
Jordan? Was that Jordan?
No, Jordan blocked one too. But
I just
feel
remember him
he blocked
going.
one. He definitely missed a couple weeks throughout the stretch. I think he's healthy. I will have to check, but I think Jalen Carter's healthy. Lane Johnson should be coming back. And as you guys mentioned, like that run game, if that can get going, that'll change everything for the Eagles.
Carter returned in Week 18 from a month-long absence because of injuries to both shoulders. So it feels like he.
What about Lane?
Lane, I don't know right now.
Just let's see if we got any. Because if he's coming back to practice, you assume he's playing. Why would you practice?
Yeah, Lane. Trent Williams, I don't know, I haven't seen anything, but with Trent Williams, knowing who he is with a hamstring injury, I expect him to be back out there.
I saw him tunnel, boombox. I saw him
still vibing,
moving a little bit. And then on the sideline, it looked like he was not like agonizing in pain like that thing was, Not that can't pop up on you, though.
Yeah, for sure.
It's very scary.
Lane, who's been out since Week 11, should be back for the playoffs. He's in line to return for the playoffs.
That's a big deal.
Huge.
Huge.
Their record.
Huge.
That's like the craziest stat of all time. They're like 120 and 50 with him, and then they're awful without him.
It's from Jeff McClain, Eagles right tackle. Lane Johnson is expected to practice on Wednesday for the first time since he suffered a Liz Frank. Johnson has made progress in his recovery, but still has to test his right foot before the team makes a decision on his availability for Sunday's wildcard game versus the Niners.
He's playing.
That injury's big.
Yeah, he's in.
Yeah, Liz Frank sucks.
Yeah.
Because that's everything. That's the whole foot.
Super painful.
Yeah. I rubbed my pinky, my big toe. Okay, you can walk on the outside of your foot, the inside of your foot. Got an ankle, maybe you can hobble a little bit. Just the entire that sucks. He's taken many great men down. Lane Johnson will return, though, from battle against that thing.
Hell yeah.
How tough is it? I guess AJ, both of you went to Super Bowls.
There's certain surgeries.
No, not even that injury. Just as a team, like we always hear, like Super Bowl hangover. Like you have that long run, you win it all, you celebrate, and then coming back that next year. Obviously, not too many people go back to back. How tough is like that? Really handling that and being in it, being a part of that team.
I'll answer quickly before AJ gives an actual answer. I thought we were just going back to the Super Bowl the next year. Everybody told me I was wrong, and I was. We never got back. So AJ, your thoughts during that entire time?
Yeah, it's. I don't know if we assumed. See, we won it all, and then we got locked out a month later. So it was different. We didn't come back together until training camp started. So that made it a little bit different. I think we weren't together, so it was like it's all fresh and new again. So we didn't have like the complacency. I think we went 15-1, I believe, that year, and then got beat in the playoffs, which sucks. But I don't know if I could say like there's complacency, but people, like, it's natural human nature to get comfortable. Like if you do get a ring or something happens, I wouldn't say that was the case with us. I don't think Big Mike was not going to let that happen with us, but I think it is real. It's definitely real.
The team that I was in the locker room of, I'm not even going to act like I was really a part. I wasn't. There's no reason I should have been there. I had no idea what I was doing. I feel like I brought good vibes, though. But, like, that team, very mature.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the next year, I think we made it to the divisional round, and we lost to the Jets. I think we gave a deep shot to the right after calling a timeout because we thought we were getting the ball back. pass interference. Nick Folk hits a 30-some yarder instead of having to be a 54-yarder. Nick Folk's still doing it, by the way. He was old at that time. He's still doing it. Unbelievable. We lose the second year. But, like, I think all the OGs, I think they knew how hard it was to get to the Super Bowl, you know? Like,
I had Mount Rushmore quarterbacks, too. Like, Peyton and Aaron, like, you would assume, like, every year you had a legit chance.
Peyton took it really hard, I think. From my understanding, I don't know all the information on anybody or anything, but from my understanding, it was Peyton, like, I think he disappeared for a few weeks, like, get away from everything. Like, really took it hard because how good our team was and how we had to lead at halftime. And I keep saying we, but, like, I didn't do shit, you know? That team was so fucking cool to be a part of. They were just, like, grown-ass fucking men, you know? Like, yeah, we're drinking a beer the night before the game. Where is the ice cream?
Yeah, they used to have beer at our Saturday meetings early on in my career.
Yes. Ice cream, beer, pizza.
Ball was ball.
What else do we need? Like, that
Amen.
group, we're playing cards on this night. We're doing dinner this night. This is happening on this night. It's like, that was it was fucking awesome. And I just get dropped in there strictly as a single young vibes guy at every one of the events, you know, for basically every part of the team. Defense, offense, skill, linemen. You know, I got a chance to really see how they operated. And I think they got a chance to see how I operated too. And I would say I think they think I did okay. I think I did. But it was like, that was, like in West Virginia, it was the same shit. Like we were, you know, our team was like.
Pros. Yeah, you see, I came into Ohio State. We won the national championship my first year. Like, I saw those dudes were men. Like those upperclassmen, watching them, I'm like, okay, like this is, they were like a part of an older generation to where they could go out as hard as anybody on the planet, and then they would be there at 6 a.m. the next day just cracking skulls. Like, they did not care.
And I think they would say that was a trait that helped them in football. Like, you know, and
overcome.
Yeah, well, not only that, but like, I feel like those people got a lot tighter as a team. Like, I think there were certain things that happened whenever guys weren't just completely worried about nutritional science at every single wake and turn. You know, I saw something about track, the 100 meters from the beginning of documented time till now, and we've only gotten like 0.7 or 0.8 faster whenever it talks about all the shoes, all the new technology, the new track, everything like that. Documented 100 meter time, and I might have got by AI. If I was, they put a lot of work into this thing to do it. But it's like, how much faster did the human body actually get with the advancement of all this science and technology and information and all this shit? And it's like, not that much. So like, whenever these nutritional people came in and just changed the entire culture of fucking football, like that almost. And the NFLPA and the NFL made it mandatory in the CBA. Like, everybody needs a nutritional coach, everybody needs a science coach and shit like this. And I think athletes just bought into it because it's like, yeah, okay, this is what the nutritional person says, this is what it is. That really changed quickly. That's why whenever I'm talking about Fernando Mendoza having beers with the boys, like, I think that's a fucking big deal. I think that is a huge thing because, yes, I guess everybody's stronger, faster. By how much? Certainly, there's guys that are very, very fast, and there was guys that were nowhere near as fast playing football back in the day. But it's like, how much did all the super duper nutrition help, and what did we lose by taking away all the bad stuff that could potentially bring more chemistry than anything else, you know? And that's why whenever I hear
mental toughness. Sorry, I don't want to lose that mental toughness when everything is crafted for you and here's smoothies and all this. That's what I get worried about is guys that say like, yeah, I'm not going to, you see a guy all of a sudden in street clothes after warm, I just don't feel right today. Yeah, I don't feel right. I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't feel right. Like, come on, man. Like, that's what I hope we don't lose.
Also, hey, yeah, make a peanut butter and jelly, bro. We're fucking hungry. Yeah, fucking open that thing, okay? Take anything, spoon, fucking whatever's nearest, boom, bang, and then do it. Just doing that as opposed to, hey, here's this for you, here's this for you. You want 2 protein balls? How about a protein stick? You want a little bit of this? Gatorade? Oh, you want Gatorade? We used to have to fucking try to fight for some goddamn Gatorade out there. And I'm not yelling at the clouds in the front yard right now. I'm just saying, when I'm talking about players being generational, Fernando feels like an older generation quarterback in the modern era right now. And I don't even think he knows it. I think he's just like...
It's a good thing. It's a great thing. Yeah. He doesn't know it.
Shut up. That Oregon defense, though, is going to home Dan Lanning.
I'm really excited for that game.
So pumped.
Dan Lanning's second shot at him.
I'm glad that game is Friday and not Thursday.
Me too.
And I'm pumped for Miami Ole Miss, too. It's just, Oregon, Indiana. It's
some of the nerds. You see what the nerds are saying about Dan Lanning?
What?
About beating them twice.
Yeah, pretty easy.
The board did it.
Yeah, he wasn't the only one, I guess. Ryan Day did.
Ryan.
This is different.
That's what Hembo said. Everybody's talking about beating Lanning twice. I think Hembo sent me a stat about another team that was trying to beat somebody twice. He's like, yeah, everybody talks about it being hard to beat somebody twice. It's actually not factual. Maybe you beat them the first time because you're a better team. And then it was some stat. This one is about Dan Lanning. And maybe these teams are just better teams, which is what Hembo and the stats people say, I think, about the whole narrative about it's hard to beat somebody twice. Because I think outside stats people, us, we go better knowledge, more fired up, a little bit more motivated. Stats people say, well, actually, higher score first game was more corresponding with how good team is. And then the second time should be the exact same. But we all understand what this is. We all understand adjustments. We all understand what could happen. But stats say it's certainly possible.
Also, you see the DeBoer, Washington, who beat him twice, 36-33 and 34-31. Like, those games could have gone either way.
32-31, Ohio State first meeting. Rematch, ass beating.
Yeah.
41-21 was not the score.
It was not that close, yeah.
Yeah, that was 41-0. Yeah. That's what it felt like in my mind. Yeah. And I assume you feel the same way on that one.
Yeah, the beating team twice. I guess I'm a victim of that too. Or I guess I'm guilty of saying, it's hard to beat a team twice just because, that's stupid. We should change that. Just because I heard it before. It's like saying, make sure you don't go outside with wet hair when it's cold. You'll get pneumonia. That's dumb. Like, that doesn't mean anything. Don't touch the eggs of if you touch the eggs in a bird's nest, the bird won't come back because the mom will disown them. Nope, that's false as well. Like, we got to.
Have you disproven that?
Yeah, all these things.
It is.
All these things are just do it this way because this is how it's always been.
You don't want poop on your hands. You don't want your little kids having mushy bird poop and garbage all over their hands. So don't be digging around a bird's nest.
Okay, I like that. So they went to the extreme, saying, "Hey, you want to ruin his life?"
Yeah, the mom will kill all the babies if you touch them. They make them feel bad.
Yeah, the most extreme.
What about pumping gas while your car's on?
Yeah, I guess that's.
That's never been even questioned. What do you mean?
Shouldn't do that.
Are you sure?
Especially in the winter, D. But you're in Indy. You're going to need to do that.
You knew AJ.
I always do it.
You knew. Okay, you do as well. You knew AJ felt very strongly about that, and I appreciate you alley-ooping him here on his birthday. AJ's never even thought about turning his car off while pumping that gas.
That's just common sense. You know that.
Well, how come at every gas station it says turn your car off whenever you're pumping gas?
Everyone does it.
I mean, there's a lot of signs all over that mean nothing that are garbage that they just have there.
I agree.
That's what is it for? What do you think? CYA, cover your ass because they don't want to get sued if your car blows up.
Exactly. And that's, yeah, it is fine until some fat hayseed flicks a cigarette near your car and it blows up the entire gas station. And now you don't just have one fatality. You got 30, 40, 50.
This is just like the bird with the eggs thing.
Exactly.
I looked up the bird with the eggs thing. I think he's right there. He's wrong about the gas thing, but
he's not.
A lot of signs, but what he's saying is just because we've heard it all the time doesn't mean it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Just because that's what AJ likes to question the.
He doesn't like.
I like to question they. When people say they say, like my mom is guilty, she always says they. Mom, who is they?
Here's they right here.
I don't know.
We'll say it's Google at this exact moment is one part of they.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is how they identify. We shouldn't necessarily just automatically throw they on them, but yes, you should.
I see rare. Rare is what I see right there. Rare. Very rare.
Yeah, but what do you see the first line, or do you just not read like first line into?
What are the two words after rare?
This is Tim McAfee nicotine right
Catastrophic risk. But I mean, come on now.
AJ, all right. So obviously, everybody has told you you're wrong, but I understand you got to live.
No one's ever mentioned it to me. I think they all said, thank you for keeping me nice and comfortable while you're pumping gas. I think that's all it is.
He also does this new thing on the plane flights where he refuses to sit in his seat during takeoff.
Yeah, what's that all about?
Yeah.
A pretty active flyer.
Because he was told one time, hey, sir, can you sit in your seat for takeoff? Now he refuses to do it.
I'll have to do that.
I'll tell you what, every once in a while I'll protest some shit that's being said on those things. I respect, I very much respect what you were saying.
I can't wait for it to hit his head off the ceiling.
I got a wide base. You see my wide base.
The real problem is he's like banging on the exit door like, oh, you think this is fine? Don't you want me to do that now? Before, if I did it in the air, it would be much worse. Like, oh, it's on the ground.
I just want to see if it's holding. Yeah, I appreciate you doing those last minute plane checks for us. How about the peek and go? You were dead ass asleep. The whole
No, I watched that whole thing. Believe me, because I saw it foggy, and I heard him juice it back up, and I was like, oh, dang it, we're going around.
Okay, so you were up for that. Okay, I'm happy to hear you were up for that. And the way you fly, I assume you were actually woken up by the plane moving and your body just, we're going to puke right now, even though you're dead ass asleep. Us in the front, kind of in real time, dealing with the information, knowing that hell was about to potentially happen. Like, hey, if we can't land, we'll just pull it right back up and then we'll head over to LAX. And then getting a message like, hey, think we're going to be able to land, so we're going to be able to see ground, we're going to be good. It's like, awesome. So kind of like anxiety kind of just kind of settles away. And then we get to a part where we see ground, like we got here, because we knew the mission the whole time, and obviously we're paying attention. We're doing the entire thing. We see ground clearer than I think we've seen.
Oh, yeah, look good.
I mean, it was clear.
Definitely. He could have touched down.
I'm thinking the pilots wanted to land at the other.
You guys saw the ground?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw a house.
Oh, big time.
I saw
we were like,
Because I woke up on the.
Yeah,
there's a minimum.
Yeah, exactly.
We could have
woke
done
up on the
Yeah, I'll tell you,
Almost
it was certainly an impressive re-lift back up into the sky. But from what we were understanding, and I'm sure some pilot will give us some.
Yeah, I don't have my hours.
Yeah.
I know AJ got some hours under
There's
his
minimums. There's minimums. He was fully legal to do it. He made a decision. He's conservative. I agree. It's better to do that than die. I'm okay.
Which he can always grandstand with. You know, like, well, we just thought it was safer for all parties, but also potentially
And my hotel's right there.
hour drive. Yeah, so that is where, you know, we in the back of the plane, who then had to do an hour drive, you know, with limited, certainly had some questions. It's like, I was told if we could see, we're going down here. Is air traffic control telling you we can't go down? No, they're saying you can. Okay, you're just finding out if you could see. So you're making a decision to go to LAX then?
Yeah, airport was open. Yeah, still fully open.
Oh, yeah, operable. But hey, go us down safe.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for doing
We're
it.
here.
Hell yeah.
But we can't complain, honestly. That's a fucking nice
No.
plane. We were on it a long time, but that was a nice plane.
Oh, yeah.
Was it nice?
3 rooms. I mean, you guys were sleeping in the back, had no idea what was going on in the front, right?
No,
idea.
luckily.
Oh,
no.
the plane to California?
Could not hear you guys back there.
I didn't know that you guys knew we were possibly going to do a go around or touch and go. Like I didn't even know that. I just knew it was foggy.
Yeah, we were very much in the know on how it was all going. Pilot actually came back, sat in front of me. All right, hey, listen.
I'm going to take a seat.
Did this one here.
It's going to be a long one.
Really?
Had his glasses on his lap. So here's the situation. Kind of breaks it all down. Low ceiling, you know, obviously a lot of pressure, blah, 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 the whole thing. Super scientific words. We're all what? Half asleep at that point. I mean, it was a long time.
I was nuked at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, it was,
Oh, man.
Yeah, still up.
Yeah.
This guy, very well dressed, good hair. I mean, seems very professional. Moves glasses to the lap. I mean, knows his whole thing. Breaks it all down to us. Does it sound good? It does sound good. Thank you for, the information. Gets up, goes back up there. Now we're all on high alert. All right, here we fucking go. Let's see what happens, boys. Flight attendant turns around. They're saying they think it's good for landing. It's like, oh, yes, that's great news. A little burst of energy there about 2 a.m. About the 27th hour of our day, 28th hour of our day or whatever. Lucky to do it, not bitching about it, just talking about state of mind where we are at the time. And then, oh, look at that guy's house. I'm literally seeing his backyard. Okay, we can see down there, it looks like. Holy shit, we're out of here. That was a good takeoff. Shout out to that plane still having a juice. To be able to just turn that.
I was hoping he was going to circle around and come back in the same airport. They do that sometimes. Try it again.
No.
Guy was never landing there.
Never.
Well, no. The hotel was connected to LAX.
He wanted us to take the roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
That's all. That was all that was about. Boys, wake up. You got a fucking hour and a half ride.
Awesome.
Thankful to be safe.
Yep.
Thankful to be safe.
Or shoot.
Yeah.
Cannot wait to get out to Arizona. Then to Atlanta.
What?
And Super Wildcard weekend.
What?
And then Super Wildcard Monday.
What?
Lucky to be alive. Happy birthday, AJ.
Here we are.
Happy birthday, Hog.
Happy birthday, Hog.
Happy birthday,
Hey,
Hog.
Hogger.
All right, we're back tomorrow. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change your life. We're obviously in this together. Team on me. AJ, anything to say on this birthday?
No, appreciate you guys. Thank you. And you guys know these are the good old days. Absolutely.
You landed the plane, brother.
We're in it. Let's live in the moment.
And this moment.
This moment.
And
this moment. And a new one. And a new one. The past is dead. The future does not exist. Here we go.
Kind of like the
new one. And here it is. Tone's not in the moment. I can tell. Tone's worried about
Now he's trying to move on to Hammer Dahn. He's got a lot of bets to get, a lot of winners. Shout out to that whole thing.
No, we don't.
Happy birthday,
The
AJ.
moment.
Love this moment and every moment we get to spend together. We're so thankful for the moments in which we get to talk about sports for a living. It's the dumbest life of all time, and we can't thank you all enough for allowing us to do this. Team on me, team on three. 1, 2, 3, team. Goodbye.